Thank you. Thank you, Ashok ji. Good evening, all the students. How are you doing today? I would see very few students responding. दिवाली के लिए अभी टाइम है, लोग अभी दिवाली शुरू कर चुके हैं. So we are not seeing many students. Need to awaken them because the festivities has not yet begun. It is just the start of the season. We have tomorrow another day. You can prepare for your festivals tomorrow. And for CA students, CA festival, celebrating your CA once you qualify, that is a bigger celebration than this yearly celebration which comes. So I'm not discouraging you from Diwali. You do enjoy that. But this is very important that you concentrate on your studies also. Yes, now I can see a lot of responses. Good evening, everyone. And happy Dhanteras too. Good. So we were discussing on the topic in last session on GST supply. So we understood basics of GST, constitutional aspects of GST, and we understood supply, which was a bigger base chapter for understanding what is a supply, so that we know that if it is a supply, then there is GST. If there is no supply, no GST. We understood very clearly. All your questions very well. I hope I would have answered satisfactorily, so that you are convinced with the answers. Still, if you have any more questions with related to supply, you may crop up with some more supply related questions when we discuss on charge or we discuss other topics. So whenever that comes, you can definitely put it up. And any questions, if it is not being able to answer, you can ask it at the end of the session, wherein there is a problem solving session specifically. So there you could ask your questions. Okay. Now we'll move ahead with the topic charge of supply. So we understood what is supply, what is the taxable event, correct? Now we'll get into charge of supply. What is charge? The power to levy tax. We have discussed this even before. The power to levy tax is drawn from the Constitution, correct? Because any person or any authority or any law, if they have to charge you to tax, they should have that levy power. This power to levy tax for any taxation statute is drawn from the Constitution. Hence, our constitutional amendment was required. And that's why we see that Constitution 101st Amendment Act was passed. Now, the basis of charge is the taxable event in any statute. Okay, like the occurrence of event which triggers levy is the charge. Like example, in manufacturing, what happens once you manufacture, when excise was there, manufacturing was the action point where it would trigger a charge. Similarly, if you have to go under Income Tax Act, in case of capital gains, what is the trigger point for levying capital gains? What's the base thing? It should be a transfer. So if the transfer happens, then other conditions are definitely there, whether it's a capital asset or non-capital asset. So, but there should be a transfer. So there are the trigger points which triggers the charge. So this is the charging thing. Similarly, the taxable event in GST is supply. So if there is a supply, then there is GST, then other conditions will fall in. If it doesn't fall under the definition of supply itself, then the charge itself is failed. Okay, so this way we understood the topic of supply in detail. Right? Now we understand that there are three types of GSTs. One is CGST, which stands for Central Goods and Service Tax. This is applicable on supplies within the state. Similarly, SGST stands for State GST Act, and this is applicable for supplies within the state. So if it is a union territory without legislature, then it will be instead of SGST, UTGST. And if it is a union territory with legislature, and all the states will have SGST. So if there's an intra-state transaction, then it will be CGST and SGST, the respective states GST. If it is a union territory, then it will be CGST and UTGST. Okay. And if it is an interstate transaction, then IGST would be levied. IGST stands for Integrated Goods and Service Tax. And this is applicable for interstate transactions and importantly on import transactions also. So any import you do from any port to your state, okay, you could be in the same state where the port is located, or you could be in a separate state. still IGST would be chargeable. All imports are leviable for IGST and all interstate transactions are leviable to IGST. And this tax collected is shared between the center and state after what is to be apportioned. Okay, not that straight away what IGST paid that gets distributed. The whatever IGST we pay that gets apportioned, that gets passed on to the respective states, because we saw at the back end they have to give the credit from one state, take it and give it to the another state. Clear? So that transfer happens from the IGST background end. After that happens, whatever is left behind, that gets apportioned between the center and the state. Now, what is local supply, or what is an local means intrastate? What is an intrastate supply? Understand this: when the location of supplier, this is the indication of location of supplier. Okay, when the location of supplier and the place of supply both are in the same state, then it is an intrastate supply. What will be charged? CGST and SGST. And what is an interstate supply? When the location of supplier is in one state and the place of supply are in different state. Now, location of supply is in Karnataka and place of supply is in Tamil Nadu. Two important aspects: location of supplier and place of supply. Location of supplier and place of supply. If these two things is given to you, or you are able to find out from the question, then you can decide whether it is an interstate supply or an intrastate supply. If the location of supplier and place of supply are in the same state, then intrastate supply. If the location of supplier and place of supply are in two different states, then it is an interstate transaction. Interstate transaction would mean you will levy IGST. Okay. Now, what is the extent of GST? Levy, we know that levy is on supply. Now, what is the, generally we've seen that in all the old service tax laws, we say that this act extends to whole of India, extends except to the state of Jammu and Kashmir. That was the standard clause which we used to see before the GST law. But in GST law, it extends to whole of India. It doesn't carve out any exclusions for state of Jammu and Kashmir, primarily for two reasons, because Jammu and Kashmir also adopted the GST. And after the adoption of GST, there was a reconstitution bill wherein Jammu and Kashmir became part of India. It was already part of India, but there was a kind of article in the constitution which did not levy. So there were some restrictions to the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Because of the Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act, all the laws of India applies to Jammu and Kashmir also. So that is the reason this GST applies to the whole of India. The section 1 of the act itself says that CGST Act extends to the whole of India. IGST Act will say that it extends to the whole of India. SGST Act wouldn't say it extends to the whole of India. It will apply to that state. So SGST Act will say that it extends to the whole of Karnataka. If it is Karnataka GST Act, it will say it will extend to the whole of Maharashtra if it's a Maharashtra GST Act. Okay. So India is defined under section 2, subsection 56. Now, when it says, section 1 says that extends to the whole of India, what is whole of India is important. So we need to understand what is whole of India. India is defined under section 2, subsection 56 as the territory of India as referred in the article 1 of the constitution, the territorial waters, the territory of India. So basically, territory would mean all the states and union territories, the borders, all of that is part of India. That is fine. Then it extends to the territorial waters, not only the land portion, but the waters also is within the definition of India. It says its territorial waters, seabed and subsoil, underlying such waters, continental shelf, exclusive economic zone, or any other maritime zone as referred in the Territorial Waters, Continental Shelf, Exclusive Economic Zone, and other Maritime Zones Act. Such a big act. So this is one full act which starts from territorial waters. So this full is one act which is Territorial Waters, Continental Shelf, Exclusive Economic Zone, and other Maritime Zones Act. In this, it is defined what is a maritime zone. Now we'll see in that next slide what does it mean. Okay, because we need to understand there could be some practical questions saying that if some ship is there on the waters, whether it will be treated as India or no. That's the reason this is important. So if it is in the borders of India also, if it is not beyond the territories or waters of India, and if some transaction happens over there, still it will be liable for taxation because it is part of India. Okay, so territory of India, then its territorial waters, seabed and subsoil underlying such waters, continental shelf, exclusive economic zone, or any other maritime zone as referred to in this Maritime Zone Act. And so it means whatever is the physical space, whatever is the land we are seeing, then to some extent waters, then water ke niche ka water, anything below that and anything above that. Okay, the lateral part, the lower part and the upper part also, upper part is covered here, the air space above its territory and territorial waters. तो यहाँ का आकाश है वो भी कवर्ड है और जो बॉर्डर्स पे वाटर्स है उसके ऊपर का आकाश भी इंडिया में कवर्ड है. ठीक है, तो इसीलिए किसी भी दूसरे कंट्री का एयरक्राफ्ट इंडिया में नहीं आ सकता अनलेस परमिशन हो. ठीक है, तो हाउ डज इट गेट डिटेक्टेड? थ्रू रडार सिस्टम. जो एयरपोर्ट्स पे हम देखते हैं, ओके, जो लाइट हाउस होता है वहां पे, दोज हैव रडार सिस्टम. जो रडार से उनको पता चल जाता है कि कौन किसका मूवमेंट हो रहा है. सो इफ सम एयर instrument, it could be an aircraft or any other jet has to enter, it has to take permission. Otherwise, it gets detected through the radar system. Okay, so this is what is covered under the definition of India. Now we'll understand this. What is this territorial waters जो बोल रहे हैं? ये बोल रहे हैं इंडिया के definition में territorial sea is up to 12 nautical miles. ठीक है. So what is covered is land, then territorial sea up to 12 nautical miles from the baseline. तो तीन चीजें हो जाती है यहाँ पे, territorial sea, continental shelf and exclusive economic zone. So territorial sea is 12 nautical miles from the baseline. So यहाँ पे baseline हो गया है, या land यहाँ पे खत्म होता है, यहाँ से यहाँ तक जो है this becomes 12 nautical miles. So land से 12 nautical miles is territorial sea. Then exclusive contiguous zone is up to 12 miles from that place. So contiguous zone is 12 miles from the territorial sea. And then exclusive economic zone is up to 200 nautical miles. So यहाँ तक is India technically. So land हो गया, land के बाद territorial sea and 200 miles nautical miles वहां से exclusive economic zone. तो यहाँ तक इंडिया हो गया. यहाँ के बाद ये कॉन्टिनेंटल शेल्फ के अंदर जो सबमरीन वगैरह होते हैं वो इंडिया की टेरिटरी में कहे जाएंगे. ठीक है, तो दिस इज द डेफिनेशन ऑफ इंडिया. और वहां के बाद जो भी होगा दैट विल बी ट्रीटेड एज हाई सी. मतलब किसी एक स्टेट, एक कंट्री का नहीं है, दैट बिकम्स अ कॉमन थिंग, दैट विल बी ट्रीटेड एज हाई सी. ओके, तो यहां तक इंडिया का है, उसके नीचे का वाटर इज ऑल्सो इंडिया एंड उसके ऊपर की एयर इज ऑल्सो इंडिया. सो दिस इज द डेफिनेशन ऑफ इंडिया. तो एनी ट्रांजैक्शन विच हैपेंस बियॉन्ड दैट इज हाई सी सेल ट्रांजैक्शन. तो हाई सी सेल ट्रांजैक्शन क्या होता है? व्हेन आई शिप सम गुड्स फ्रॉम आउटसाइड इंडिया एंड आई गेट इट, और जब इन ट्रांजिट में होता है तब इटसेल्फ आई एंटर इनटू हाई सी सेल्स एग्रीमेंट, विच मीन्स कि जब मैं इंपोर्ट कर रहा हूं तभी मैंने कस्टमर ढूंढ लिया है और मैंने कस्टमर को बोल दिया मेरे शिप वहां से निकल गई है दूसरे कंट्री से और आ रही है. बिफोर इट रीचेस द टेरिटोरियल वाटर्स ऑफ इंडिया, आई एंटर इनटू हाई सी सेल एग्रीमेंट एंड दिस हाई सी सेल एग्रीमेंट इज अ ट्रांजैक्शन व्हिच इज आउटसाइड इंडिया. तो जब क्लियरेंस जनरली कौन करेगा? मैं करूंगा. बट इफ आई एंटर इनटू हाई सी सेल एग्रीमेंट, आई अग्री दैट आई विल ट्रांसफर द गुड्स टू यू. जब मैं अग्री कर चुका हूं देन द अदर कस्टमर विल क्लियर द गुड्स. So that becomes a high sea sale transaction. और मेरे और उसके बीच में जो ट्रांजैक्शन है will be exempted because वो ट्रांजैक्शन मैंने जब goods outside India थे तब किए हैं. So high sea sale transactions are that the reason exempted, क्योंकि ये ट्रांजैक्शन outside India हुआ था while the goods were in transit. ठीक है, that's the reason high sea sale transactions are exempted. ठीक है, so that is the definition of India. Then state tax extends the whole of that state. State includes, we know, union territory with legislature, which is Delhi, Puducherry और अभी जम्मू एंड कश्मीर. जम्मू एंड कश्मीर को क्या हुआ? दो यूनियन टेरिटरीज में बांट दिया. वन इज यूनियन टेरिटरी ऑफ जम्मू एंड कश्मीर एंड यूनियन टेरिटरी ऑफ लद्दाख. अब यूनियन टेरिटरी ऑफ जम्मू एंड कश्मीर को क्या किया? विथ लेजिस्लेचर, और यूनियन टेरिटरी ऑफ लद्दाख को विदाउट लेजिस्लेचर किया है. इसीलिए ये तीन यूनियन टेरिटरीज हैं जिनके लेजिस्लेचर है, तो इनको भी स्टेट में गिने जाएंगे. ठीक है, एंड द यूनियन टेरिटरी एक्ट एक्सटेंड्स टू यूनियन टेरिटरीज ऑफ अंडमान एंड निकोबार आइलैंड्स, लक्षद्वीप, दादर एंड नागर हवेली एंड दमन एंड दियो. ये सब एक ही union territory. This one, this Dadar and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu. पहले दो यूनियन टेरिटरीज थे, as नागर एंड दादर हवेली सेपरेट थे और दमन एंड दियो सेपरेट थे. अभी इनको मर्ज करके एक ही टेरिटरी यूटी कहा गया है. So Dadar and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu is one union territory, and Ladakh and Chandigarh. So these are the total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 union territories are without legislature and 3 union territories are with legislature. Okay. Sir, what's your opinion whether to write descriptor? अच्छा, अब ये subjective questions पूछिए अभी with related to this subject, about related to this topic. Charge means the trigger point which triggers the levy of GST. Correct. That's right, Ramchandra. The inter is for different state, inter is for within state. UTGST, what does it come, sir? Inter is for different state, intra is within state, and UTGST is also within state. So within one union territory. Now, आप जाओगे in union territory of Ladakh. You go there, you eat something. So they will charge you UTGST because it's a union territory, because the location of supply is there and place of supply is also there. इसीलिए वहाँ पे UTGST charge करेंगे. Now, if UTGST से आप यहाँ कुछ खरीदते हो, okay, from you buy something from a union territory and it gets delivered to your state, then it will that same union territory will charge you IGST. Okay. But in will to ship to model, is in the same state and IGST can be levied? Yes, Pitladwala. If it is built to ship to transaction, it depends on whom are you shipping it to. Okay, since this question is asked, what is a bill to ship to transaction? I am a supplier in Karnataka. You are my customer in Rajasthan. Now, you agree that I have to sell you. You agree with my price, and I will supply you 100 quantities of goods. So I am ready to ship it. But when I start shipping it, you call and tell me that, see, if you give me the goods at Rajasthan, I will again give it to a customer, my customer in Tamil Nadu. So why don't you supply it to my customer in Tamil Nadu directly? So customer, मेरे customer बोल रहा है उसके customer को मैं directly supply करूँ. ठीक है? So what I will do is, ठीक है, I will invoice it to you because your transaction with your customer I don't know. I know only my transaction with you and you have to pay me. So I will sell goods to you, but I will ship it to your customer wherever you say. तो मैं बिल किसको कर रहा हूँ? मैं बिल कर रहा हूँ राजस्थान के कस्टमर को, लेकिन शिप किसको कर रहा हूँ? तमिलनाडु के लोकेशन पे. So this is called an example of bill to ship to transaction. मैं बिल राजस्थान को कर रहा हूँ और शिप तमिलनाडु को कर रहा हूँ. तो बिल टू शिप टू ट्रांजैक्शन ये हो जाता है जब मैं बिल एक पार्टी को करता हूँ और शिप दूसरे एड्रेस को करता हूँ. ठीक है? So in a bill to ship to transaction, what is the point of transaction? What is the taxation which has to be levied? It is the transaction which is with my original customer. Whom am I billing to initially? I am billing to Rajasthan person. So मैं कर्नाटका से बैंगलोर बिल कर रहा हूँ, तो I will charge what is applicable from Karnataka to Rajasthan, IGST. So I will charge IGST. So in a bill to ship to transaction, I will see the location of my customer and not the delivery location. Okay, so take the similar example with a little twist. Now I am ready to sell it to a customer in Rajasthan. Rajasthan customer says that my customer is in Bangalore itself. So why should I charge delivery charges and all? You ship it directly to Bangalore person. So मैं bill ship किसको कर रहा हूँ? कर्नाटका को. From where? From Karnataka itself. So bill to ship to वो दोनों कर्नाटका में, तो should will I charge CGST, SGST, or should I charge IGST? What is your opinion? Billed to Rajasthan and shipped to customer in Karnataka, and I am also supplier. I am also in Karnataka. So should I treat this as an intra-state transaction or interstate transaction? Great. Everybody is given the correct answer. It is an interstate transaction. So IGST has to be charged because I am billing to the customer in Rajasthan and shipping it to customer to his customer in delivery location is Karnataka. So bill to is to Rajasthan. So I will charge IGST. He will again bill it to this person in Karnataka to his customer. He will again charge IGST. But he's not shipped. No, yes, he's not shipped it. But still, he will raise a bill because payment to uska jana hi hai. I will bill him and he will bill to his customer. Both interstate transactions. So I will charge him IGST and he will charge to his customer again IGST. Okay. Delivery is made to Karnataka. Delivery will not be relevant here because it's a bill to ship to transaction. In such case, I will charge CGST. I will charge IGST itself. Okay. Good question. One nautical miles means how many kilometers? One nautical miles is 1.85 kilometers. तो फिर दो बार आईजीएसटी लग गया. हाँ, दो बार लगेगा because there are two transactions. No, it is delivered to one, but there are two transactions. I am selling to my customer, customer is selling to his customer. Delivery is one, but actually GST is not on delivery. No, it's on transaction. There are two transactions involved, so इसलिए two GST लगेगा. And it is not double GST because whatever GST I charge to him, he can claim the credit and then charge to his customer. So that is the normal chain of transactions. If someone carries goods in high seas and sold goods, then it will be taxable in GST. So if he's carrying from here, वो bill of entry से export तो दिखाएगा, so it will not be liable to GST. Or once it is export, then whatever he does there doesn't matter for me. Correct? Because from here, when the goods have left, it has normally left on a valid transaction of an export transaction. When it is taken on export, and if something happens in the ICs, it will not bother me. Okay. So we understood the extent of GST. Now let's get into the levy provisions. We understood supply provisions under section 7. Now let's understand the levy provision under section 9. Section 9 says that subject to the provisions, section 9 subsection 1, first subsection of section 9 says that subject to the provisions of subsection 2, there shall be levied a tax called Central Goods and Service Tax on all intrastate supplies of goods or services or both, except for the supply of alcoholic liquor for human consumption on the value which is determined under section 15 and at such rates not exceeding 20% as may be notified by the government on the recommendation of the council and collected in such manner as may be prescribed and shall be paid by the taxable person. ये सेक्शन याद करना है, सेक्शन याद नहीं करना है, लेकिन सेक्शन को समझना बहुत जरूरी है. Have you understood the section, please? What does it say? It says subject to the provisions of subsection 2. मतलब first this section 9(1) is subject to subsection 2. ठीक है? So we cannot read this in isolation. 9(1) को जब पढ़ेंगे 9(2) को भी साथ में पढ़ना चाहिए. ठीक है? हम 9(2) पढ़ लेंगे, लेकिन पहले 9(1) को तो समझ ले. Subject to the provisions of section 2, there shall be levied. लेकिन बोल रहा है स्टार्टिंग में सबसेक्शन 2 का प्रोविजन है सब्जेक्ट टू, तो सबसेक्शन 2 पढ़ लेते हैं. क्या बोलता है सबसेक्शन 2? द सेंट्रल टैक्स ऑन सप्लाई ऑफ पेट्रोलियम क्रूड, हाई स्पीड डीजल, motor spirit, which is commonly called as petrol, natural gas and aviation turbine fuel shall be levied with the effect from such date as may be notified by the government on the recommendation of the council. मतलब इन 5 पेट्रोलियम प्रोडक्ट्स पे अभी जीएसटी नहीं लगेगा भाई, and it shall be levied with effect from such date which will be notified by the government on how will the government notify? On the recommendation of the GST council. जब GST council बोलेगा कि इन 5 चीजों पे लगा सकते हैं, तब गवर्नमेंट लगाएगा GST इन 5 चीजों के ऊपर. तो 9(1) बोलता है 9(2) पढ़ लो, हमने 9(2) पढ़ लिया और ये समझ गए हैं कि 5 पेट्रोलियम प्रोडक्ट्स पे GST नहीं है. देन 9(1) पे जाएंगे, सब्जेक्ट टू प्रोविजन सबसेक्शन 2. अभी बोलता है देयर शैल बी लेविड अ टैक्स. क्या होगा? ये लेवी प्रोविजन है. तो लेवी बोल रहा है कि हम लेवी करेंगे. लेवी कहां से मिल रहा है पावर? क्योंकि कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ने बोल दिया कि जीएसटी एक्ट बोलेगा कि किसके ऊपर जीएसटी लगेगा. तो ही इज टॉकिंग दिस नाउ. जीएसटी इज सेइंग आई विल लेवी अ टैक्स कॉल्ड द सेंट्रल गुड्स एंड सर्विस टैक्स ऑन ऑल इंट्रा स्टेट सप्लाईज. जो भी इंट्रा स्टेट सप्लाई करोगे उसके ऊपर सीजीएसटी लगाऊंगा. ये क्या सर, ये आधा आधा हो गया. आपने तो कहा इंट्रा स्टेट पे सीजीएसटी लगेगा और एसजीएसटी लगेगा, यहाँ पे सिर्फ सीजीएसटी है. तो ये क्या गपला है? Is this provision correct? But for sir, how do you measure aerial territory of India? Aerial territory वही होता है radar से. Through radar they have mechanism to determine the location, regions, chemistry है, some arithmetic formula they will use and determine the length under which India any vehicle or any vessel comes in. Sections भी आते एग्जाम्स में, sections आते हैं but we don't have to remember it. If goods are exported outside India, how will it be taxed in GST? It will not be taxed in GST. IGST will be applicable, or do I have to separate provisions for export? Export are exempted. Exports are treated as zero rated. इसलिए exports के ऊपर GST. There is no GST, Miss Kanakarini. On exports is exempted, and it's not only exempted. There's a special category called it as zero rated supplies. So that's the reason on exports there is no GST. Section is correct. Very good. If section is correct, then it means that I am saying only CGST will apply, SGST will not apply. No, there are two acts. One is called CGST Act, one is SGST Act. So on this, what law I'm reading, SGST, CGST Act. Similarly, there is a law called as KGST Act. So on that transaction, what I will levy? Karnataka GST. So that the power to levy CGST is under CGST Act. The power to levy under SGST is there under SGST Act. So CGST power comes under CGST Act and SGST power comes under the SGST Act. If I read both the acts put together, then it becomes CGST and SGST, because whatever provisions of there in CGST, that will apply to the SGST also. So for IGST, there is a separate law that we'll see separately. But Section 9 of CGST is same if Section 9 of the respective states also. Okay. So that's why you'll see that only CGST will be mentioned here. Similar act, similar rates are there under SGST. So that will apply there. Okay. So it says there shall be levied a tax called the Central Goods and Service Tax on all intrastate supply of goods or services, or both, except the supply of alcoholic liquor for human consumption. So 5 products is gone under 9(2). Now one more product is gone out of here, which is alcoholic liquor for human consumption. Why? Because alcoholic liquor for human consumption, there'll never be GST. At least on these 5 products, it will come in the future. But unless they amend the 9(1), alcoholic liquor on human consumption will not be leviable to GST at all. So on alcoholic liquor for human consumption, what is levied then? State excise is levied. Okay. And on petroleum products, what is levied now? Is petroleum free? No. On petroleum, central excise plus VAT is levied. Clear? Except alcoholic liquor for human consumption on the value determined under Section 15. Section 15 is a valuation rule. We'll go to the valuation rule. That time we'll understand what is the value. Generally, the value would be the transaction value. The value what I sell at. Okay, what is my selling price? That will be the value. Because I will transact with unrelated person. If I deal with related persons, then the price is influenced. If it is with any unrelated person, then my price is not influenced, then that will be the value for Section 15. On the value which is determined under Section 15 and at such rates not exceeding 20%. Means there is a ceiling limit kept in. It says that GST rate should not be more than 20%. Okay. 20% means only under CGST, which means CGST में अभी हम देखते हैं मैक्सिमम रेट इज 28%, मतलब 14% है। तो 14 को वो बढ़ा के 15, 16 अप टू 20 तक कर सकते हैं। 20 प्लस 20 मैक्सिमम 40% GST रेट हो सकता है। जो 28% रेट है उसका 14% CGST है, 14% SGST है। तो 14% is the maximum rate for today, but however the government has the power to levy maximum rate of 20%. उससे ज्यादा रेट नहीं हो सकता है। At such rates not exceeding 20% as may be notified by the government on the recommendation of the council and collected in such manner, मतलब GST कैसे कलेक्ट करोगे वो रूल्स में दिया जाएगा। But power is given from here saying that it should be collected in such manner and shall be paid by the taxable person. ठीक है? Any doubts on this? I have one doubt. Who is this taxable person? It means anybody who's registered only is a taxable person, or is it anybody who is not registered? So if I say that I'm not registered, can I say that I'm not registered, so I'm not a taxable person? Please don't ask GST from me. I made transaction of 1 crore, but I didn't register, so don't collect tax from me. क्या ऐसे हो सकता है? ज्योति जी 5 प्रोडक्ट पे GST क्यों नहीं लगाया? क्योंकि ये 5 प्रोडक्ट है ना, बहुत लुभावने वाले प्रोडक्ट्स है। इन पांचों के ऊपर जो है टैक्सेस वो स्टेट नहीं छोड़ना चाहता है, क्योंकि स्टेट का रेवेन्यू इन 5 प्रोडक्ट्स और अल्कोहलिक लिकर पे टिका हुआ है। अगर वो उनसे हटा देंगे तो स्टेट धरना पे आ जाएंगे। हम जैसे धरना पे जाते हैं, वो स्टेट वाले, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट धरना पे चले जाएंगे, क्योंकि उनका रेवेन्यू रुक जाएगा। तो इसीलिए ये कंसेंसस लाने के लिए बहुत टाइम लगेगा। इसीलिए ये 5 प्रोडक्ट्स और पेट्रोलियम और अल्कोहलिक लिकर अभी स्टेट के हाथों में ही है। अल्कोहलिक लिकर फॉर ह्यूमन कंजम्पशन है। अल्कोहलिक लिकर अगर आप अल्कोहल मेडिसिन वगैरह में यूज करते हो तो फिर उसके ऊपर स्टेट टैक्सेस तो लगेगा। जो मेडिसिन फार्मेसी बनाते हैं वो टैक्सेस पे करते हैं। दे आर स्टिल पेइंग दोस टैक्सेस, रामचंद्र। In IGST Act, it will say interstate supplies. Yes, it will say interstate supply. No, sir. Great. So all your answers are correct that no. It means anybody, everyone is a taxable person. No, not everybody is a taxable person. Consumer को देना ही पड़ेगा ना. You have to pay GST either we register or no. No. Yes, that's correct. You are a taxable person. For registration, there is a threshold limit. Correct. So there is a threshold limit for registration. So anybody who crosses that threshold limit, then they will be treated as a taxable person. Any person who's crossed the threshold limit for registration is a taxable person. Now, if he registers, then he can collect taxes and pay to the government. If he is not registered, then he cannot collect taxes, but he has to pay from his pocket. That's the reason there's used the word taxable person and not registered person. अगर registered person कहेंगे, then everybody will say ठीक है registered person लिखा है, मैं तो registered नहीं हूँ, मैं नहीं collect करूंगा और मैं pay भी नहीं करूंगा. Then government को revenue कैसे आएगा? How will you control the supplies? So that's why whether you're registered or not registered, if you have crossed the limits, then you are a taxable person. You have to pay, and it shall be paid by him. It shall be paid by every taxable person. ठीक है? The central tax on the supply, this we have read. तो अभी हमको सेक्शन 9 क्लियरली समझ गया है, क्योंकि हम लोग पार्ट पार्ट में पढ़ के पूरा समझ चुके हैं। सेक्शन 9 में कुछ डाउट है यहाँ पे? Sir, if GST is exceed 20%, then in case 28% IGST, how will it charge? So very good question. If CGST is exceed 20%, then IGST में क्या लिमिट है? अगर यहाँ पे मैक्सिमम शुड बी 12, cannot be more than 20%, then IGST में the limit is 40%. ठीक है? So that's the reason 28% is still below 40%. So that is a valid levy. Taxable includes registered person. Yes, taxable person includes registered person also. What is the limit? Limit is 20 lakhs for services and 40 lakhs for goods. Okay, if you're a supplier of goods, then if you cross 40 lakhs worth of sales, then you have to register under GST. And if you are providing services, then your limit is 20 lakhs. Okay. Now 9.3 says the government may, on the recommendation of the council, by notification specify categories of supply of goods or services or both, the value of which shall be paid on reverse charge basis by the recipient of such goods or services, or and all provision of this shall act apply to such recipient as if he is the person liable to paying the tax in relation to supply of such goods. So government क्या बोलता है 9.3 में मैं government को power दूंगा. Section the GST Act says, I will give power to the government, wherein the government may, on the recommendation of the council by notification, specify categories of supply, not goods, categories. Saying that if you're a real estater, if you're into some industry, some categories I can choose, and I tell you that specified categories of supply of such goods or services, the tax will be paid on reverse charge by the recipient. Okay. And all the provisions of this act shall apply to him. Matlab, if I am supplier and you are a receiver, I am charging tax on you. But in specific instances, and which are categorized under 9.3, जो 9.3 के categories हैं, उनके ऊपर recipient को GST pay करना पड़ेगा instead of supplier. That is what 9.3 is saying. Okay? So 9.3 is only saying that government has a power to specify some category of goods or some category of services on which GST will be paid by the recipient. Now, 9.3 becomes very important. Based on this 9.3, no notification hai. One is in relation to goods, which is called as notification number 4 of 2017, central tax, which is for reverse charge on goods. वो अपने लिए relevant नहीं है because आपके इंटर में वो 9.3 का goods related notification nahi hai, that is clear exclusion. लेकिन 9.3 in relation to services, notification number 13 of 2017, central tax rate dated 28 June 2017 is relevant. It says in case of services, the levy is there and just applicable for you. So 13 of 2017 का notification में क्या क्या covered है हमको समझ के clearly याद रखना चाहिए. ठीक है, तो we'll understand that in detail. और 9.4 क्या बोलता है? 9.4 बोलता है the government may, on the recommendation of the council by notification, specify a class of registered person. Here it says categories of supply. Here it is class of registered person. मतलब they will define one particular class of registered person. जैसे real estate, और जैसे मैं real estate का example याद दे रहा हूँ वो गलत हो गया because here it is specified categories of supply. मतलब it will decide in 9.3 कि आप ऐसे कुछ सर्विस प्रोवाइड करते हो, ऐसे कुछ सर्विस लेते हो या ऐसा कुछ गुड्स लेते हो जिसका नाम लिखा हुआ है, उसके ऊपर रिवर्स चार्ज लगेगा. और 9.4 भी रिवर्स चार्ज है, बट नॉट ऑन पर्टिकुलर गुड्स और सर्विसेज, बट कैटेगरीज ऑफ रजिस्टर्ड पर्सन. ठीक है, जैसे क्लास ऑफ रजिस्टर्ड पर्सन एंड कैटेगरीज ऑफ रजिस्टर्ड पर्सन अलग से दिया हुआ है. क्लास ऑफ रजिस्टर्ड पर्सन who shall, in respect of supply of specified categories of goods or services, are both received from an unregistered person. तो यहाँ पे unregistered person is important. यहाँ पे unregistered नहीं लिखा है, लेकिन यहाँ पे लिखा है. So it means 9.3 में supplier registered हो, फिर भी receiver को pay करना पड़ेगा because they have not specified कि only if it is an unregistered. अगर registered person भी है, ठीक है. Example I will give you of a lawyer. एक lawyer का service जो है section 9.3 में covered है. ठीक है, lawyer services are covered under subsection 9.3 under reverse charge. So if you take any services from a lawyer, you have to pay GST under reverse charge mechanism under 9.3. ठीक है. Now if that lawyer is registered, then what happens? Even if the lawyer is registered, he will not collect GST on his bill because it is covered under notification of 9.3 and the recipient has to pay it. So 9.3, it will be always the recipient. अगर lawyer registered है फिर भी वो GST collect नहीं करेगा, receiver को ही pay करना पड़ेगा. The government, लेकिन 9.4 में specific categories of registered person की cases में, if it is received from an unregistered supplier, then I will have to pay tax on reverse charge basis. लेकिन अगर supplier registered है तो वो ही pay करेगा. Because it says only if I receive it from an unregistered person, then I have to pay. I have to pay tax on reverse charge basis on the, as a recipient of such supply of goods or services, and all the provisions of Act will apply to me and not on the supplier. Okay. Clear with 9.3 and 9.4? Very important to understand the base. Is it necessary to remember notification? Notification number 13 of 2017 आपको याद रखना पड़ेगा क्योंकि that is relevant. वो जो reverse charge on services है that is relevant for you, तो उसको आपको याद करना पड़ेगा. What is reverse charge? बताएंगे आपको. Sir, alcoholic liquor is a sin good? Yes, alcoholic liquor is a sin good. Any question on 9.3 and 9.4? What is RCM? Briefly बता दिया, लेकिन in detail में with एक diagram आपको बताऊंगा next slide में. Sir, I have a doubt. When in Constitution it clearly mentioned that CGST has the power to levy tax, then why will the government will act on SGST Council recommendation? Because all of that rates and things, what they mentioned is on the recommendation of GST Council. So the law, if you read the Constitution, it says on the recommendation of the Council at specified rates as may be decided by the GST Council. Why will the government act? Because it says that on the recommendation of the GST Council, so government को जो भी notification करना, it has to come from the GST Council itself. So it means GST Council has more power than central government. Yes, to some extent it has become like that. The GST Council has superior powers than the government. If the council on the GST matter, whatever is decided by the council, that will be acted upon. Example for 9.4, Vidya Banu, good. 9.4 का example है is a supplier of real estate services. So a landowner providing services to a contractor, okay, or a real estate developer. So I am a landowner, I am unregistered, I am giving my land to a builder. Immovable property, correct. But am I giving him the land? I'm not giving him the land. I'm giving him a right to enter to my land for construction. That is a service. License, हमने पढ़ा था, license is a service. So I'm giving him a right to enter into my land and do construction service. I'm not selling the land per se. So that is a service which is covered under 9.4. So 9.4 में notification से which says that if something you do, या 9.4 में है जैसे TDR, transferable development rights. What is TDR? Don't ask me. वो in detail में जाएंगे. So something called as TDR. So TDR जब किसी लैंड ओनर किसी डेवलपर को सप्लाई करते हैं तो टीडीआर होल्डर सप्लाई कर रहा है लेकिन वो जीएसटी चार्ज नहीं करेगा, रिसीवर जो है वो उसके ऊपर जीएसटी पे करेगा. ठीक है. Summary of 9.3 and 9.4. Everybody is asking. Be attentive and understand 9.3 and 9.4. I'll take the slide of reverse charge first so that you will understand it first more carefully. So this normal scenario में क्या होता है? Supplier of goods है और ये receiver of goods है. तो supplier क्या कर रहा है? Goods या service supply कर रहा है. Correct? किसको? Receiver को. रिसीवर क्या कर रहा है? पेमेंट कर रहा है. किसको? सप्लायर को. तो ये जब सप्लाई कर रहा है ऑन दिस क्या करेगा? इनवॉइस रेज करेगा. 1,00,100 रुपीज का इनवॉइस है. ठीक है, ये 100 रुपीज का इनवॉइस रेज कर चुका है, प्लस जीएसटी करेगा. अगर 18% जीएसटी रेट है तो 100 प्लस 18 रुपीज चार्ज करेगा. और ये रिसीवर जो है इसको 100 प्लस 18 118 रुपए देगा. अगर टीडीएस काटना है तो टीडीएस काटेगा, लेकिन अल्टीमेटली नेट 118 देगा. 118 हिल पे. और अभी लायबिलिटी जीएसटी किसके ऊपर है? ये सप्लायर के ऊपर है. कस्टमर आपको पैसे दे या नहीं दे, आप इनवॉइस रेज कर चुके, लायबिलिटी आपका है, आप जीएसटी पे करेंगे. दिस इज अ नॉर्मल सिनारियो. तो गवर्नमेंट को जीएसटी कौन पे करेगा? सप्लायर पे करेगा. ठीक है, दिस इज कॉल्ड एज नॉर्मल सिनारियो. अभी रिवर्स चार्ज में क्या हो रहा है? सप्लायर सप्लाई कर रहा है, रिसीवर पे कर रहा है, लेकिन सप्लायर जो चार्ज कर रहा है, कुछ सर्विसेज सप्लाई कर रहा है 100 रुपए पे। अब मैं जीएसटी चार्ज नहीं करूंगा क्योंकि मेरे कैटेगरी ऑफ गुड्स या मेरे कैटेगरी ऑफ सर्विसेज में गवर्नमेंट ने 9(3) सेक्शन में बोल दिया है कि रिसीवर को जीएसटी पे करना पड़ेगा। तो ये जो 100 रुपीज है, ये रिसीवर सप्लायर को 100 रुपीज पे करेगा, लेकिन इसके ऊपर जो जीएसटी बनता है 18 रुपीज, ये 100 रुपीज सप्लायर को पे नहीं करके डायरेक्टली गवर्नमेंट को पे करेगा। ठीक है, ये जो पे कर रहा है, कौन पे कर रहा है? रिसीवर पे कर रहा है। तो इस केस में क्या पेमेंट हो रहा था? फॉरवर्ड चार्ज पेमेंट। फॉरवर्ड को रिवर्स कर दिया गया है, इसीलिए इसको रिवर्स चार्ज मैकेनिज्म कहते हैं। आरसीएम इसे कहते हैं, जो रिसीवर पे कर रहा है द टैक्स इंस्टेड ऑफ सप्लायर, दिस इज कॉल्ड एज आरसीएम, रिवर्स चार्ज मैकेनिज्म। ठीक है, सो दिस इज द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ रिवर्स चार्ज मैकेनिज्म। जनरली हर ट्रांजैक्शन में मैं बिस्कुट लेने जाता हूं, सप्लायर जो मुझे सप्लाई कर रहा है वो जीएसटी गवर्नमेंट को देगा, मैं नहीं दूंगा, मैं उसको दूंगा इनडायरेक्टली और वो गवर्नमेंट को जमा करेगा। गवर्नमेंट किसको पकड़ेगा? सप्लायर को पकड़ेगा। लेकिन रिवर्स चार्ज मैकेनिज्म में सप्लायर पकड़ा नहीं जाता है, इसीलिए रिसीवर को पकड़ते हैं और जैसे रिसीवर हैज टू पे जीएसटी ऑन रिवर्स चार्ज मैकेनिज्म। क्लियर? नाउ रिवर्स चार्ज को हम समझ चुके हैं। अब इसके दो वेरिएशंस है, वन इज 9(3) सेक्शन 9 सबसेक्शन 3 एंड अनदर वन इज 9(4). 9(3) और 9(4). 9(3) में बोलता है स्पेसिफाइड कैटेगरीज ऑफ गुड्स के ऊपर रिसीवर को पे करना पड़ेगा। तो 9(3) के नोटिफिकेशन है, 9(3) का नोटिफिकेशन नंबर फॉर सर्विसेज इज नोटिफिकेशन नंबर 13/2017। ठीक है, 13/2017 में जो बोलते हैं, 13/2017 में कुछ सर्विसेज दिए गए हैं। जैसे एक एग्जाम्पल है सिक्योरिटी सर्विसेज, एक और एग्जाम्पल है गुड्स ट्रांसपोर्ट एजेंसी सर्विसेज, एक और सर्विस है लॉयर सर्विसेज। तो ये जो कैटेगरीज दिए गए हैं नोटिफिकेशन 13 में, इसके ऊपर सप्लायर विल नॉट पे जीएसटी, रिसीवर विल पे जीएसटी। दैट इज 9(3). 9(4) is also reverse charge, but that is not applicable on goods wise. That is applicable on class of registered person. ओके, क्लास ऑफ रजिस्टर्ड पर्सन मतलब रिसीवर रजिस्टर्ड हो गया, क्योंकि आरसीएम पे तो रजिस्टर्ड रिसीवर ही पे करता है। क्लास ऑफ रजिस्टर्ड रिसीवर्स, जैसे रियल एस्टेट डेवलपर्स का एक एग्जांपल हो गया। रियल एस्टेट डेवलपर्स जब अभी टीडीआर खरीदते हैं, तब उनके ऊपर सप्लायर जीएसटी नहीं पे करेगा, लेकिन रिसीवर जीएसटी पे करेगा। बट सप्लायर अगर रजिस्टर्ड है तो फिर वो पे करेगा, बिकॉज हियर दे हैव यूज्ड द वर्ड अनरजिस्टर्ड सप्लायर। लेकिन जब सब सप्लायर अनरजिस्टर्ड है, तब ही रिसीवर जीएसटी अंडर रिवर्स चार्ज पे करेगा। क्लियर? अंडरस्टूड 9(3) and 9(4) नाउ? अगर रिसिपिएंट रजिस्टर नहीं है, तो इफ ही इज फॉलिंग अंडर दैट कैटेगरी, तो उसको रजिस्टर्ड करना ही पड़ेगा। बिकॉज सप्लाई जब मैं सप्लायर करता हूं, तब मुझे रजिस्ट्रेशन के लिए थ्रेशोल्ड लिमिट है, लेकिन रिवर्स चार्ज मैकेनिज्म के लिए थ्रेशोल्ड लिमिट नहीं है। अगर मैं लीगल सर्विसेज रिसीव करता हूं और मेरे सेल्स 1 लाख रुपए है या 0 है, फिर भी मुझे रजिस्ट्रेशन करना जरूरी पड़ जाता है, बिकॉज आई एम फॉलिंग अंडर द कैटेगरी ऑफ दोज आरसीएम, where RCM receivers who has to register and pay. So if I'm unregistered, if I'm taking services from one category or wherein which is under reverse charge, so I have to register and pay it. ठीक है? Why supplier raise invoice? It is charged by every supplier. Kavita, your question is not clear. Sir, if specified goods and services supplied by supplier, then under subsection 3, recipient has to pay tax whether supplier is registered or not. Correct. Now, supplier is registered, then supplier has to pay tax under subsection 4? No. If those categories are there under specified notified under subsection 3, then even if supplier is registered, he will not collect and he will not pay GST. It will be the recipient who will pay the GST. Okay. The advantage or disadvantages, government cuts the revenue, and whatever reverse charge I pay, it is not a burden for me. If I pay the reverse charge, then I can get the credit of that as well. I will get the credit also. I have to pay it and I can claim a credit, because if supplier would have charged GST to me, I would have claimed it. Correct? वो मुझे इनवॉइस पे जीएसटी चार्ज करेगा, मैं कंडीशंस फुलफिल करके उसका क्रेडिट लूंगा. In this case, instead of supplier paying, I am paying as a receiver, so I can still claim the credit of it, provided I pay it to the government first. Government के खाते में जाना चाहिए ना, so I have to pay it first and then claim the credit. But if a recipient and supplier both are registered person and specified good or service under 4, so 4 को आप छोड़ दीजिए, we are under 3. तो 3 में है, 4 में नहीं जाएगा, because 3 के ऊपर रिवर्स चार्ज ऑलरेडी है. They will not mix it under 4. ठीक है? So 9.3 and 9.4 are different. 9.3 में अगर बोलता है रिसीवर, तो रिसीवर को पे करना ही पड़ेगा. Clear, Janish? Why was RCM introduced? सप्लायर्स ऐसे थे कि वो जीएसटी पे नहीं करते थे, तो लॉस ऑफ रेवेन्यू बहुत होता था. जैसे गुड्स ट्रांसपोर्ट एजेंसीज, उनको पकड़ना मुश्किल और नामुमकिन के बराबर है. उनके ऊपर आप जीएसटी लगाओगे तो सीधा स्ट्राइक के ऊपर चले जाएंगे और फुल बिजनेस ठप जाएगा. तो गवर्नमेंट ने सोचा इनको पकड़ने से बदले इनके सोर्स को पकड़ते हैं. ये किसको सप्लाई करते हैं? ऑल दिस इंडस्ट्रीज, ऑल द बिजनेसेस. तो बिजनेसेस को बोलते हैं तुम लोग जीएसटी पे करो इंस्टेड ऑफ सप्लायर. दैट्स वे to get the revenue and not to avoid the revenue leakage, supplier is unorganized, so receiver is organized. They have tackled it and they have told receiver, you pay the GST on the RCM basis. What happens if recipient is also unregistered? Then nobody will pay. Like we'll see some examples wherein if you are unregistered, then you don't have to pay GST under RCM also. Then don't need to pay GST. ठीक है ना? क्योंकि 20 लाख के कम, मैं भी कम छोटा आदमी हूँ, मैं भी रजिस्ट्रेशन नहीं लिया हूँ, मैं क्यों RCM के अंदर आऊँ? So it's not required. On some categories of RCM value, on RCM categories, not on all. We'll see. Like RCM अगर मैं लॉयर का लेता हूँ तो मुझे रजिस्टर करना ही पड़ेगा. बट लेकिन GTA से लेता हूँ, if I am not under those receivers category, then I don't have. It depends on each of the services. How will receiver pay GST? वो GST returns में he will disclose these are the categories of services I have received under reverse charge, and on this I have to pay GST. He will show in his return and pay it. How receiver pay GST deposit to GST department without registration? अगर उसको पे करना है तो फिर मुझे registration लेना पड़ेगा. He will take registration. Will GST charge on sin goods like alcoholic liquor? अभी नहीं है मरियम, अभी GST on sin goods के ऊपर नहीं है, on alcoholic liquor पे तो नहीं है. लेकिन टोबैको प्रोडक्ट्स पे जीएसटी है. It means if I get service from lawyer, then I should register under GST. Yes. What are the goods under RCM? Generally, agriculture products, aracanut, silk. Okay, on those raw materials, few agriculture products, it is under RCM of goods also. Sir, कोई घर चेंज के टाइम घर का सामान जीटीए पे थ्रू भेज रहा है तो वो अनरजिस्टर्ड है, वो आरसीएम कैसे पे करेगा? तो बिजनेस के लिए नहीं है. अगर बिजनेस के लिए नहीं है तो फिर आरसीएम पे नहीं करेगा ऑफ कोर्स. लेकिन वो गुड्स ट्रांसपोर्ट एजेंसी है, लेकिन ये गुड्स ट्रांसपोर्ट एजेंसी नहीं, इनको गुड्स ट्रांसपोर्ट एजेंसी नहीं करेंगे. गुड्स ट्रांसपोर्ट एजेंसी वो है जो गुड्स ट्रांसपोर्ट करते हैं. लेकिन ये जो है पोर्टल जो आपके अग्रवाल पैकर्स एंड मूवर्स है, वो जीटीए कैटेगरी में नहीं आते. जीटीए मतलब गुड्स ट्रांसपोर्ट एजेंसीज, जो गुड्स लेते हैं और सप्लाई करते हैं. लेकिन ये अग्रवाल पैकर्स एंड मूवर्स है, वो आर नॉट जीटीए. पैकर्स एंड मूवर्स का काम क्या होता है? पैकिंग भी करते हैं, आपका शिपिंग भी करते हैं, फिर उसको इंस्टॉल भी करते हैं. है, तो वो पैकर्स एंड मूवर्स और सप्लायर्स वो फॉरवर्ड चार्ज पे आपसे जीएसटी लेंगे, उनको रिवर्स चार्ज नहीं आएगा। जीटीए वो होते हैं, वो जो हम जीटीए का डेफिनेशन देखेंगे, गुड्स ट्रांसपोर्ट एजेंसी इज दोज एजेंसीज व्हिच गिव यू कंसाइनमेंट नोट ऑन ट्रांसपोर्टेशन ऑफ गुड्स, की वो कंसाइनमेंट नोट जो इशू करता है वो है जीटीए। लेकिन ये पैकर्स एंड मूवर्स आपको कुछ कंसाइनमेंट नोट नहीं देते हैं, सो दे आर नॉट अंडर जीटीए कैटेगरी। वो जीएसटी आप पे चार्ज करके लेंगे, आप कैश में दो या कैसे दो, आप रजिस्टर्ड हो अनरजिस्टर्ड हो, वो आपको जीएसटी तो चार्ज करेंगे। सर फिर गवर्नमेंट को प्रॉफिट क्या है जब वो क्लेम ही कर लेंगे, क्लेम कर लेंगे लेकिन लीकेज बंद हो गया और कुछ कैटेगरी ऑफ सप्लायर्स रिसीवर्स है जो क्रेडिट नहीं ले सकते, तो वो क्या करेंगे, उनको जीएसटी पे करना पड़ेगा और वो क्रेडिट नहीं ले पाएंगे, वहां तक गवर्नमेंट को प्रॉफिट है। और जहां पे क्रेडिट लेंगे तो एटलीस्ट वो सिस्टम में आ जाएगा ना कि ये जो टैक्सेस था गवर्नमेंट ने कलेक्ट कर लिया है, ठीक है, तो क्रेडिट को देना ही है, क्रेडिट देने पे गवर्नमेंट को लॉस नहीं है, वो चेन में आ जाएगा। अदरवाइज वो चेन ही छूट गया ना, तो इट विल कम अंडर द सिस्टम। Under RCM, can recipient get ITC? Yes, he can get ITC. If I pay GST under RCM for service and I sell goods, ठीक है, can I claim RCM ITC of service for goods? Yes, under GST it is payable. Goods और service का क्रेडिट को मिसमैच नहीं किया है, अब क्रेडिट किसी का भी लो, it will fall all under one bucket and you can claim the credit even if you are supplying goods, और आपका RCM सर्विसेज पे फिर भी आप ले सकते हो, और आप सप्लाई गुड्स का करते हो फिर भी आप क्लेम कर सकते हो। How GST will be paid on the RCM? When you file the return itself, you will disclose three categories: supply, this is my outward supply, this is my reverse charge which I have availed. So all of that will be mentioned there itself. In your return, you will mention what is your outward supply, what is your inward supply liable for RCM, and what is the tax payable. Total tax will come and you will pay it. That will all get captured in your return. So the limit of GST registration is 20 lakhs, 40 lakhs. Is it turnover or profits? It is turnover, dear, not profit. It is turnover. RCM क्या है? पूरा रामायण सुनाने के बाद राम कौन है आप पूछ रहे हो। RCM is reverse charge mechanism, जो है सप्लायर की बजाय रिसीवर पे करता है, उसे RCM कहते हैं, समझे सर। 9.4 का एक एग्जांपल दे दो। 9.4 का एग्जांपल है TDR सप्लाई, ट्रांसफरेबल डेवलपमेंट राइट्स, जो एक स्पेशल राइट होता है एक्स्ट्रा फ्लोर्स कंस्ट्रक्ट करने के लिए विदाउट टेकिंग स्पेशल परमिशन फ्रॉम द गवर्नमेंट। मेरे पास 3 फ्लोर्स करने का परमिशन है, मेरी एक जगह है ना, गवर्नमेंट ने अक्वायर कर ली, तो गवर्नमेंट अक्वायर करके मुझे कंसिडरेशन भी देगा और मुझे टीडीआर भी देगा। टीडीआर एक तरह का राइट होता है, जो मैं एक अगर किसी बिल्डिंग बनाने के लिए 2 फ्लोर का परमिशन है, तो मैं टीडीआर लाइसेंस देके एक एक्स्ट्रा फ्लोर बना सकता हूँ, उसे कहते हैं ट्रांसफरेबल डेवलपमेंट राइट्स। ये टीडीआर या तो मैं यूज करूँ या किसी बिल्डर को बेच दो, ठीक है, तो ये मैं बिल्डर को जब बेचूंगा ये टीडीआर, बिल्डर मुझे कंसिडरेशन देगा, मैं जीएसटी चार्ज नहीं करूंगा अगर मैं अनरजिस्टर्ड हूं। अगर मैं रजिस्टर्ड हूं तो मुझे पे करना पड़ेगा, अगर मैं अनरजिस्टर्ड हूं तो बिल्डर ये तो टीडीआर का वैल्यू मुझे दे रहा है, इसके ऊपर वो जीएसटी पे करता है। दैट इज एग्जांपल ऑफ 9.4। क्लियर शिवानी? Whether a lawyer service provided to an individual is under GST, हम lawyer service अब देखेंगे तब पढ़ेंगे। lawyer service provided to an individual is luckily not under GST, तो उसके ऊपर RCM नहीं आएगा, not under RCM. RCM should be paid in cash or adjust ITC. RCM has to be paid in cash itself. We cannot adjust with ITC. Notification number of 9.4, मैं बताता हूँ आपको। Notification under 9 subsection 4 is 1 of 2011. Let me tell you, reverse charge 12 of 2018 था। Because the old notifications have got deleted. It is notification number 7 of 2019. Notification number 7 of 2019. Which speaks about FSI. So instead of TDR, they've said TDR, development rights, long-term lease, FSI. All of that is there under 7 of 2019. Priyanka, 7 of 2019. Thirteen of 2017, Nagraj, that was the earlier notification under the old 9.4. The 9.4 got amendment. After that, they had given this new notification. So 13 by 2017 is actually not available now because that 9.4 section itself was completely changed. So we'll go with the rates of GST, then we'll go with GST RCM. There are 7 rates under GST: 0%, 0.125%, 1.5%, 2.5%, 6%, 9%, 14%. So effectively, you wouldn't have heard these rates because these are half the rates. Effective rates is double. क्योंकि मैं सिर्फ CGST का रेट बोल रहा हूँ, SGST का रेट बोलूंगा तो आपको समझ में आएगा. एक 0% है. There are some values which are exempted, तो 0% भी रेट है, exempted भी है. Exempted मतलब जो exemption notification है, those are exempted goods or services. On some goods, 0% rate also is given, that is 0% rate. Then 0.125% matlab 0.25% is there on precious stones and jewelry. Value ज़्यादा होता है तो इसलिए उसके ऊपर कम rate है, 0.125, which is effectively 0.25%. Then 3% rate on gold. Then 5% on most of the products, basic products. 6 plus 6, 12% is on other certain services. जैसे स्टे हो गया है या सम स्पेसिफाइड गुड्स के ऊपर 12% है. 18% तो आप बहुत जगह देखोगे. 5% is also there on restaurant services. 18% is the common rate for most of the services. Then 14 plus 14, that is 28, is there on high-end products and high luxury services and sin goods. Okay. 5-star होटल्स पे ऊपर 28% है और सेम चाय अगर आप छोटी दुकान में जाओगे तो 5%. Okay. CGST is levied on all intra-state supplies of goods or services or both. Some provisions will be for each state. So SGST is levied on all intra-state supplies of goods or services or both. On interstate, IGST is levied. On transaction value, again, transaction value, section 15, IGST ka jo hai, those provisions says that GST may be levied on transaction value, and that transaction value is the same transaction value what is specified in section 15. Now, alcoholic liquor is outside the purview of GST, and CGST is not levied on the following 5 products: petroleum crude, diesel, petrol, ATF, and natural gas. Okay. Reverse charge mechanism हमने देख लिया 9394. 93 is on supply of specified category of goods or services, and 94 is on supply of specified categories of goods or services made by an unregistered supplier to a specified class of registered person. 93 on goods क्या हो सकता है? Supply of goods taxable under reverse charge: cashew nuts, BD wrapper leaves, tobacco leaves, raw cotton, lottery by the state government or local authority, silk yarn, used vehicles. इनके ऊपर reverse charge on goods लगता है जो आपके एग्जाम्स में नहीं है. This is only for reference. Then supply of services taxable under reverse charge, ये आपके एग्जाम्स के लिए है. इसके लिए relevant notification है, notification number 13 of 2017, dated 28 June 2017. तो इस RCM नोटिफिकेशन को समझना जरूरी है. Stay in Taj Hotel is 28%. What is the difference between nil and exempted supply? Basically, no difference. Nil rated means the rate is mentioned as nil or zero. But if it is exempted, then it will not be mentioned as exempted in the rate notification. That will be given through a separate exemption notification. Okay, so the effect is same, but the placement is different. So nil rate means in the GST rates, the rate is nil or rate is zero. But if it is exempted, then it is exempted through a notification, exemption notification. Great. So we'll go to the notification now. Okay. So we'll take a break now, because if we get into this notification, then if we take a break, it will become a problem. So we'll take a break now quickly for, it becomes too early at 7:05. Okay. We'll take a break in between. We'll understand the major services and then we'll take a break. Notification number 13 of 2017. Now it starts with serial number 1, 2 and things like that. But I have taken the important notification, important serial numbers first, so that we'll understand that first, then we'll go to other serial numbers. The first serial number, oops, I'll share my screen. Yeah, I hope my Word document is clear. Will you have any effect in filing the return? No. No effect in the return. It will be same. It will both be under the category of exempted itself. Non-GST and exempted goods are same? No, they are not same. Exempted good means goods which are exempted. Non-GST means which are outside the scope of GST. Like these 5 petroleum products and alcoholic liquor for youth consumption. These are non-GST products. Are you able to see my Word document with, says, the notifications? So we'll go with this understanding of notification number 13 of 2017. First is services provided by an individual advocate, including a senior advocate or firm of advocates, by way of legal services directly or indirectly. Okay, so this is notification number 13 of 2017. And this says what are the services which are under reverse charge. So services provided by an individual advocate, including a senior advocate. So services could be provided by a normal lawyer advocate or a senior advocate or a firm of advocates by way of legal services directly or indirectly. And who is the supplier? Supplier is an individual advocate, including a senior advocate or firm of advocates. When they are supplying it to any business entity located in a taxable territory, this will be under reverse charge. Okay. Now, what is this legal service? Legal service means any service provided in relation to advice, consultancy, or assistance in any branch of law in any manner, and includes representational services before any court, tribunal, or authority. So whatever a lawyer provides, all those services are covered here. So all those legal services provided by a individual advocate or a firm of advocate. Now this firm could be an LLP also, because the definition of firm here includes LLP also, because most of the law firms are now registered under LLP, limited liability partnership. That is also a firm itself, because it's a partnership but having a different entity. And you can have a partnership firm or you could have a LLP. So a LLP of advocates, firm of advocates, or an individual advocate, all of this providing services to a business entity. This will be under reverse charge. They have not said registered entity, they have said business entity. Matlab, anybody who's doing business, if you're getting any services, then you have to pay GST under reverse charge. Okay. So understood first thing, legal services provided by senior advocate or individual advocate to a business entity is liable for reverse charge. So to business entity itself, not to an individual. So if it is provided to an individual, it is exempted, because we'll see that it is exempted under exemption notification also. Here you should be clear that lawyer providing services to an individual who is not registered, lawyer will not charge GST on that because that is exempted. Clear? Then services provided by an arbitral tribunal to a business entity. Similar to advocate, if there is an arbitral tribunal who is providing services to a business entity, then it is under reverse charge. Then services provided by way of sponsorship. Now, if it is a sponsorship provided to any body corporate or a partnership firm. So sponsorship are provided by any person providing to any body corporate or partnership. So how this works is, who is the supplier, who is the receiver, we have to understand. A sponsorship is when I make payment to somebody and say that person comes to me. It could be like a IPL. An IPL event is going on. They have come to me and asked me for sponsorship. I'm ready to pay. So who is providing? IPL organizing team or the BCCI is providing services to me and I am receiving services. So he is the supplier. I am the receiver. He will not charge GST. I am paying. So I will pay money to him and I will pay money to the government also under reverse charge. Okay? So I am the receiver in that case. I have to pay GST. Now a supplier could be anybody. It could be individual, AOP, BCCI, Association of Person, HUF, anybody. It says any person. Supplier can be any person, but the person who's paying sponsorship, not a business entity. In other two examples, we have seen business entity. Here it is body corporate. So if I'm a body corporate, if I'm a private limited company or a LLP or a public limited company, I'm a company of any nature and or I'm a partnership firm, then I have to pay GST. If I'm an individual, I don't have to pay GST. If I'm a person, individual who's registered under GST, still I don't have to pay reverse charge because I am not a body corporate or a partnership firm. Okay, understood this difference between what is mentioned as business entity and body corporate. So in case of sponsorship services, if I am the sponsorer is a company or a partnership firm or a LLP, only then they have to pay GST under reverse charge mechanism. Okay. What is arbitral tribunal? Arbitral tribunal means the tribunal which is set up to resolve conflicts between two people. They reach into arbitration. That is the authority which is equivalent to court but not follows all the procedures of the court. Court में जाओगे तो लंबा procedure है, इसीलिए arbitral tribunal is set up which will provide services. Now this arbitral tribunal ऐसा नहीं है कि formally set up होना चाहिए, where two parties agree that if there is any dispute between us, we will refer to one body or a group of three people or group of one person also who will be called as arbitral tribunal. So this will become an arbitral tribunal. Yeah. What is sponsorship? Sponsorship means any money given for promotion activity or any amount given wherein your name brand will be displayed at the event or any kind of work which is happening. Okay, that is called as sponsorship. Clear? अब तक तो clear है ना? Because this reverse charge we have understood who will pay under reverse charge. ठीक है. We'll take a break here and then we'll start with other services before it gets complicated. ठीक है? We'll take a break of 10 minutes. ओके सर आपका म्यूट कर दीजिए. ओके. Okay, so we were discussing on sponsorship services. Another question which came up is service provided by CS to individual. So CS company secretary are not under reverse charge mechanism. Only lawyer services, lawyers are under reverse charge mechanism. So if a CS is providing to individual, then the CS has to pay GST if he is crossed the threshold limit. If not, he will also not pay GST. In 9.4, if the supplier is registered, then it will be under forward charge mechanism. Yes, if 9.4, if the supplier is registered, then it will be under forward charge. So, services supplied by central government, state government, services by way of sponsorship to any body corporate by way of sponsorship. We understood this. Next part is services supplied by the central government, state government, union territory, or local authority to a business entity, excluding renting of movable property. Services specified by these authorities by post by way of speed post, express parcel post, life insurance, and agency services provided to a person other than the central government. All of this is under normal forward charge. Let me briefly tell you what is there in this. Services supplied by the central government. If central government, state government, or local authority is providing any services to a business entity, then the business entity will have to pay GST under reverse charge. Exception is what? Exception is renting of immobile property and following services. मतलब renting of immobile property के लिए अलग से नीचे दिया हुआ है, तो renting of mobility is also under reverse charge, but उसके लिए category अलग है. Now other services, postal services, except speed post, express post, life insurance services, इनके ऊपर अगर ये गवर्नमेंट को अलग दूसरे गवर्नमेंट को देती है तो जीएसटी नहीं लगाएगी, लेकिन वरना ये लोग फॉरवर्ड चार्ज पे पे करेंगे. जब हम पोस्ट पे जाते हो, मतलब हम जब स्पीड पोस्ट लेंगे या पार्सल एक्सप्रेस लेंगे तो हम रिवर्स चार्ज पे करेंगे? नहीं पे करेंगे, क्योंकि वो ऑलरेडी जीएसटी कलेक्ट कर लेंगे. देन सर्विसेज इन रिलेशन टू एयरक्राफ्ट और वेसल. जो एयरक्राफ्ट सर्विसेज है वो गवर्नमेंट सर्विसेज ही है. जैसे एयर इंडिया हो गई है, वो अगर कुछ सर्विस प्रोवाइड करती है तो वो भी फॉरवर्ड चार्ज पे रहेगी. और ट्रांसपोर्टेशन ऑफ गुड्स और पैसेंजर्स, ठीक है, इनके ऊपर भी फॉरवर्ड चार्ज है. तो इन चार चीजों के अलावा ऑल अदर सर्विसेज आर अंडर रिवर्स चार्ज. क्या हो सकती है? बहुत सारी सर्विसेज हो सकती है. जैसे गवर्नमेंट से आप रेंट तो हो गया है, आउटसाइड है और अलग से दिखाएंगे, लेकिन इसके अलावा कुछ भी आप गवर्नमेंट से सर्विस लेते हैं तो इसके ऊपर रिवर्स चार्ज पे करना पड़ेगा. नाउ अदर थिंग इज ऑन रेंटिंग ऑफ इमूवेबल प्रॉपर्टी. यहाँ पे क्या बोलता है? सिर्फ सेम थिंग, सर्विसेज इज प्रोवाइडेड बाय सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट और यूनियन टेरिटरी और लोकल अथॉरिटी है. बट यहाँ पे बिजनेस एंटिटी की जगह अ पर्सन हु इज रजिस्टर्ड अंडर जीएसटी एक्ट. अगर मैं रजिस्टर्ड हूं तब ही मैं रेंटल पे रिवर्स चार्ज पे करूंगा. अगर मैं रजिस्टर्ड नहीं हूं तो मुझे रजिस्ट्रेशन लेने की जरूरत नहीं है इन केस ऑफ रेंटिंग सर्विसेज. वो भी कौन सा रेंट? रेंटिंग ऑफ इमूवेबल प्रॉपर्टी, मतलब रेंटिंग ऑफ स्पेस फॉर बिजनेस यूज. अगर गवर्नमेंट मुझे घर दे रहा है तो जनरली रेंट पे नहीं देता है घर. इन केस इफ इट इज गिविंग मी एंड हाउस ऑल्सो, हाउस के ऊपर तो जीएसटी नहीं है, रेसिडेंशियल ड्वेलिंग के ऊपर जीएसटी नहीं है. दैट इज क्लियर. तो नॉन रेसिडेंशियल ड्वेलिंग मतलब कमर्शियल शॉप्स देती है, उसके ऊपर जीएसटी में पे करूंगा अगर मैं जीएसटी में रजिस्टर्ड हूं. अगर मैं छोटा आदमी हूं, छोटा आदमी हो, लाइक छोटा स्मॉल शॉपकीपर, जो मैं छोटी सर्विसेज प्रोवाइड करता हूँ या छोटा ट्रेडिंग करता हूँ, तो मैं जीएसटी पे रजिस्टर्ड नहीं हूँ तो मुझे आरसीएम पे करने की जरूरत नहीं है. लेकिन इफ आई हैव अ शोरूम जिसपे जो स्पेस मुझे गवर्नमेंट दे रही है, जैसे जो गवर्नमेंट कॉम्प्लेक्सेस बनाती है, ठीक है, और वो रेंट पे देती है. If this person is big, then he has to pay under reverse charge. If he is small, how is a small or big decided? By whether you are registered or no. If you are registered, then you pay under reverse charge. If you are not registered, you don't pay. That is for rent. But all other services, except those services of postal services, aircraft services, and transportation services, because transportation अगर government की buses वगैरह रहती है या interstate buses जाती है, उनके ऊपर वो वही GST collect कर लेंगे. Other than that, तो ये 3 सर्विसेज के अलावा जो भी अदर सर्विसेज गवर्नमेंट से हम लेते हैं, यू विल हैव टू पे जीएसटी इफ यू आर अ बिजनेस एंटिटी. क्लियर? If CA/CS arbitrator ho to good question. If you are arbitrator, then you are acting in the capacity of arbitrator, then you don't have to pay GST. Any reason for why RCM? RCM is very important because RCM नहीं होता तो बहुत सारी टैक्स सर्विसेज पे जीएसटी नहीं होगी, तो इसीलिए इनके ऊपर जीएसटी लगाना जरूरी है. That's why this RCM is there. Air India is now under Tata, that's correct. But इसके अलावा what have they said? Services in relation to aircraft or a vessel inside or outside the presence of airport. जैसे एयरपोर्ट अथॉरिटी ऑफ इंडिया जो है थोड़ी सर्विसेज प्रोवाइड करती है इन रिलेशन टू एयरक्राफ्ट मेंटेनेंस, एयरक्राफ्ट का जो स्टे होता है, ओके, रेंटल फॉर एयरक्राफ्ट का लोकेशन, जो रेंटल चार्जेस फॉर स्टोरेज, जो एयरपोर्ट जब फ्लाई करती है तो ठीक है, बट इफ इट हैज टू बी ऑन एयरपोर्ट बियॉन्ड इट्स scheduled departure and arrival, they have to pay some rental charges to the Airport Authority of India. Those services, they're saying it is under forward charge itself. Okay. On the statutory updates, we'll come back. Wherever the relevant statutory updates are there, we'll take it. But at the end of the topic, you may see that the next speaker will take on the statutory updates. But for me, wherever my topics are coming up, and if there are statutory updates released for 2023 and relevant in the topic, I will take it up at the end of the topic. Sure. Is it fine, Lakshmi Sai Kumar? Wherever it is relevant, I will take it. Like supply ke definition mein, I had taken 7 and AA, right? Similarly, wherever statutory updates are there for May 2023 updates, I will take it. Okay. So this we got it. Then services supplied by the central government on renting, we have covered this. Then services supplied by a director of a company or a body corporate to a said company or body corporate. Okay, means services provided by a director to a company. So supplier is a director of a company or a body corporate, and receiver is a company or a body corporate located in taxable territory. Means directors, what services you provide, whatever services you provide other than an employee. Because if it's an employer-employee relationship, that is covered under Schedule 3. So that is outside GST anyways. Okay. But if he's a non-employee director, matlab who is not a full-time director or whole-time director. If he's an executive director, he's completely into the company. Apart from that, if he's a non-executive director, मतलब इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्टर, तो डायरेक्टर सिर्फ बोर्ड मीटिंग्स में सिटिंग फीस लेते हैं. So on sitting fees services, like I'm a director of a company, I only attend the board meetings. I'm not involved in day-to-day affairs of the company. So I'm not an employee of the company. So I'm not getting any salary. I'm getting only sitting fees. Sitting fees मतलब board में जो sitting करते हैं उसके लिए, for each board sitting के लिए I charge a fees. So board sitting fees, what I charge on that, I don't have to charge GST even if I'm registered. Okay, because even if I'm registered, I don't have to charge GST because that is under reverse charge. The company will pay GST for this services and claim the credit. Okay, so this is services supplied by a director of a company to a body corporate of the said company or the body corporate. Security services. Security services provided by way of supply of security personnel provided to a registered person. Okay, now security services means any person other than who is the supplier. Supplier should be any person other than the body corporate. Matlab, the security agency should not be a company. If it's a company, then it will pay. If it is a non-company, matlab generally security services kaun chalata hai, partnership or an individual. If these firms provide services to a registered person, matlab GST में registered बंदा है, और बंदा GST reverse charge पे pay करेगा. Provided that nothing contained in this entry shall apply to a department of government, central government. So अगर security services ये अगर government को provide करते हैं तो फिर reverse charge नहीं लगेगा. ठीक है? और to a registered person paying tax under section 10, मतलब composite scheme में जो registered है उसके ऊपर भी reverse charge नहीं लगेगा. Generally, all registered person, but in this case, there's a special exclusion saying that registered person who is registered only under section 10, तो आप reverse charge मत pay करिए. क्या है कॉम्पोजिशन स्कीम हम रजिस्ट्रेशन में समझेंगे, बट ये समझ लीजिए कॉम्पोजिशन स्कीम एक स्पेशल स्कीम है जहां पे आप पूरा टैक्स नहीं भरोगे, आप 1% टैक्स भरोगे और आपको क्रेडिट नहीं मिलेगा। जब आपको क्रेडिट नहीं मिल रहा है तो इसलिए उन्होंने कहा कि दिस स्पेशल कैटेगरी ऑफ पर्सन ही इज रजिस्टर्ड, बट वो कॉम्पोजिशन स्कीम स्पेशल स्कीम में रजिस्टर है तो उसके लिए सिक्योरिटी सर्विसेज पे आरसीएम नहीं लगेगा। क्लियर ऑन दिस? So any security services provided by an individual or a partnership firm provided to a registered person, the registered person will pay GST under reverse charge mechanism. So when I buy air ticket, Air India ticket, and Air India deducted our GST, not deducted, added the GST because they are collecting GST. That is under forward charge. If they are collecting GST, you may use it for input. Yes, you may use it as an input. 7 to 13 पॉइंट्स गायब है। हाँ सर, 7 to 13 गायब है बिकॉज वो मैंने नहीं लिया है, जो भी रेलेवेंस है मैं ऊपर ले रहा हूँ, बाकी पॉइंट्स नीचे कवर अप। So I'm not going in the chronological order, I'm going in our understanding order, जाकि जो जो रिवर्स चार्ज पे है रेलेवेंट रहेगा, इंपॉर्टेंट रहेगा, that I'm discussing first. ठीक है, so till here it was the understanding part which is very clear to us. Now we'll go to special services of RCM, which is important, but they're really confusing. Like this GTA services and renting of any motor vehicle. So first we'll understand GTA services. अब तक कुछ doubt है आपको? Because if you don't understand the first phase, then you will not be able to understand the second phase. So have you understood the first phase of these services up to government services, security services? क्लियर है जी, वेरी गुड जी। तो हम जाते हैं आगे जीटीए। जीटीए में नहीं जाएंगे, हम तो यहीं पे रहेंगे, लेकिन जीटीए पे समझेंगे यहाँ पे। GTA is a goods transport agency. Who is a GTA? GTA is a goods transport agency. Definition of GTA भी आपको देता हूँ so that it is very clear. GTA का डेफिनेशन आपको बता देता हूँ। गुड्स ट्रांसपोर्ट एजेंसी। Who's a GTA? GTA ट्राईवे ऑफ ट्रांसपोर्टेशन, और इसका डेफिनेशन भी दिया हुआ है। यस, गुड्स ट्रांसपोर्ट एजेंसी और a GTA means any person who provides services in relation to transportation of goods by road, by air या by ship is not a GTA, because वो तो फिर एयरपोर्ट एरोप्लेन हो गया या फिर शिप हो गया, that is not a GTA. So GTA क्या है? That is a person who provides service in relation to transportation of goods by road and issues a consignment note by whatever name called. वो consignment note दे या bill दे या पर्ची दे या delivery note दे, whatever name it's called, एक्चुअल में उसका बेस कंसाइनमेंट नोट है, तो इट्स अ जीटीए। जो रोड से ट्रांसपोर्ट करता है, मूवमेंट ऑफ गुड्स करता है, सर्विसेज तो ऑफ कोर्स नहीं है, ट्रांसपोर्टेशन ऑफ गुड्स एंड इश्यूज योर कंसाइनमेंट नोट इज अ जीटीए। Now, what is a consignment note? A consignment note is a document issued by a GTA against the receipt of goods. वो goods receipt लेगा और आपको consignment देगा for the purpose of transporting goods. If the consignment note is not issued by the transporter, then the service provider will not come within the ambit of GTA. मतलब GTA takes the responsibility of the goods. जैसे एक लॉरी वाला हो गया, इंडिविजुअल लॉरी वाला है, वो आपका गुड्स लेगा और दे देगा। कुछ भी हो गया रास्ते में तो वो जवाबदारी नहीं लेगा, ठीक है। सो ही इज नॉट अ जीटीए, ही इज अ स्मॉल लॉरी प्रोवाइडर, उसके ऊपर रिवर्स चार्ज नहीं आएगा। लेकिन जीटीए जो है थोड़े ऑर्गेनाइज्ड वाले होते हैं या थोड़े ये होते बड़े होते हैं, जो इंडिविजुअल लॉरी के उनके पास फ्लीट ऑफ लॉरीज होती है, ठीक है। तो वो जीटीए है जो रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लेते हैं आपके गुड्स का, दे आर कॉल्ड एज जीटीए। ठीक है, कंसाइनमेंट नोट में क्या रहता है, कंसाइनर का नाम रहता है, कंसाइनी का नाम रहता है, फिर रजिस्ट्रेशन नंबर ऑफ द गुड्स कैरेज मतलब लॉरी का नंबर रहता है, डिटेल्स ऑफ द गुड्स, प्लेस ऑफ ओरिजिन, ये सब चीजें रहती है। ठीक है, सो दैट इज अ कंसाइनमेंट नोट। So this is a consignment note. Supply of services by a GTA who has not paid central tax at the rate of 6% in respect of transportation of goods by road to specified recipients. Okay. Recipient of GTA service is the person who pays or is liable to pay freight for transportation of goods by road in a goods carriage located in a taxable territory. Okay. Very theoretical, very theoretical. So let's understand this with a slide. GTA service. Of this GTA service, first GTA service के लिए we have to understand there are 7 persons who will be treated as recipient. ठीक है, because we are said that who are the 7 persons. If one of these 7 persons are there, only then you have to pay under reverse charge. If you are not under these 7 categories, then you don't have to pay. We understood what is GTA. Now we are trying to understand who is the recipient. If GTA and recipient are there, then it is under reverse charge. Fine. Now, if I belong to one of these 7 categories of people, which of these 7 categories of people am I saying? I am saying if I am a factory who is registered under a Factories Act, or if I'm a society registered under any act, or if I'm a cooperative society, or if I'm any person who is registered under this GST Act, or if I'm a body corporate not registered, because if I'm registered, I'm already following this. If I'm a body corporate, or if I'm a partnership firm, or if I'm a casual taxable person. If I am one of these 7 categories, then I have to pay GST under reverse charge. If I belong to one of these 7 category of people, then I have to pay GST under reverse charge. Who are these 7 categories of people? Again, if I'm a factory, ठीक है, कुछ मैं factory हूँ and I'm registered under Factories Act, then I'm under first category. If I'm a society registered under Societies Act, or I'm a cooperative society, or I'm any person registered under GST, or if I'm a body corporate, or if I'm a partnership firm, whether registered partnership firm or unregistered partnership firm, including association of persons, or I'm a casual taxable person. Casual taxable person क्या होता है? जो comes from one place to another place. मेरा registration यहाँ पे, अब मैं दूसरे जगह जाके कुछ टेम्पररी बिजनेस करना चाहता हूँ, तो वहां पे मुझे रजिस्ट्रेशन लेना पड़ेगा एज अ कैजुअल टैक्सेबल पर्सन, जो टाइम शॉर्ट टर्म के लिए है. अगर परमानेंट है तो फिर वो पूरा रजिस्ट्रेशन लेगा, लेकिन अगर शॉर्ट टर्म के लिए है, जैसे एग्जीबिशन सेटअप करने के लिए जाता हूँ, so then I have to take a special registration called as casual taxable person registration. So even if I go take a casual taxable registration person, अगर मैं कुछ goods करता हूँ movement, then also I have to pay GST under RCM for a GTA service. ठीक है, अगर मैं इस 7 कैटेगरी के अंदर हूं तो मुझे GST अंडर RCM पे करना पड़ेगा. If I belong to another category other than these 7 category, if I'm individual unregistered person, then it is exempted. ठीक है, so if GTA provides services to any of these 7 category of people, then it will be under reverse charge. ठीक है. Now, if it is reverse charge, तो RCM कितना लगेगा? RCM is applicable at the rate of 5% and GST liability on the above 7 if it is under RCM. But if in the consignment notes itself, the supplier, the GTA is charging GST at 12%, then it will not be under RCM. कंसाइनमेंट नोट में कुछ भी नहीं लिखा है तो मुझे रिवर्स चार्ज पे करना है. अगर कंसाइनमेंट नोट पे 6% प्लस 6% 12% चार्ज कर दिया है तो मुझे आरसीएम पे करने की जरूरत नहीं है. जीटीए को ऑप्शन है कि वो पे करे या ना पे करे. अगर उसे पे करना है तो उसे 12% पे करना पड़ेगा, अगर नहीं पे करना है तो मुझे रिवर्स चार्ज पे 5% पे करना पड़ेगा. क्लियर? Are GTA registered? GTA can be registered or they can not register. If they are registered, they will charge you 12%. If they are not registered, then I will pay under reverse charge. Can you give an example of GTA? VRL Logistics. जैसे एक ट्रांसपोर्टेशन का बस कंपनी है जो बस सर्विस भी प्रोवाइड करती है और लॉजिस्टिक्स भी प्रोवाइड करती है. दे आर रजिस्टर्ड एज अ गुड्स ट्रांसपोर्ट एजेंसी. तो मैं उनको मेरे गुड्स जो है यहाँ से मुझे बॉम्बे भेजने मेरे सप्लायर्स को, तो मैं ये मेरे गुड्स पैक करके उनको दे देता हूँ और वो मुझे कंसाइनमेंट नोट देते हैं और यहाँ से मुंबई पहुंचा देते हैं. ठीक है, तो इसके ऊपर जीएसटी रिवर्स चार्ज पे पे करना पड़ेगा. Excuse me. Who are specified recipients? These 7 category of people are specified recipients. ठीक है. Now हम समझ गए कि रिवर्स चार्ज पे करना है, लेकिन रिवर्स चार्ज कौन पे करेगा? गुड्स ट्रांसपोर्ट एजेंसी को मैं हायर करता हूं और मैं उनका फीस भी पे कर देता हूं. उनका जो भी सर्विसेज का पेमेंट करता है मैं पे कर देता हूं. एज अ 2 people है यहाँ ना इन्वॉल्व, द कंसाइनर और कंसाइनी. इस केस में मैं कंसाइनर हूं क्योंकि मैं गुड्स मूव कर रहा हूं बॉम्बे बैंगलोर टू मुंबई. अगर मैं इसको पेमेंट कर देता हूं तो मैं रिसिपिएंट बन गया. अगर मैं बोलता हूं नहीं नहीं, इट इज ऑन टू पे बेसिस कि आप वहां पे डिलीवर कर दो, जो सामने वाला बंदा गुड्स लेगा वो आपको पेमेंट करेगा, सो देन ही बिकम्स द रेसिपिएंट. The recipient in a GTA could be 2 because दोनों को सर्विस प्रोवाइड हो रहा है. मुझे भी सर्विस प्रोवाइड हो रहा है ऑफ द GTA ऑफ मूवमेंट ऑफ गुड्स, और रिसीवर ऑफ गुड्स को भी सर्विस प्रोवाइड होता है ऑफ रिसीविंग द गुड्स. तो कौन पे करेगा? So that's why they've said any person who is paying is the recipient. ठीक है. सो रिसिपेंट कौन है? रिसिपेंट वो है जो पेमेंट कर रहा है. फॉर दैट अगेन आई हैव अनदर एक्सेल शीट which I'll share with you now. So service provider is a GTA, consignor is a company, and consignee is a partnership firm. Now who is the person liable to pay freight? Person liable to pay freight, amongst them they've decided the company will pay. Okay, then who is the person liable to pay GST? Blank है यहाँ पे. Who is the person liable to pay GST? Is it the consignor or consignee? It is the company itself, because person liable to pay freight will be the person liable to pay GST. So the person liable to pay GST is company. Correct. Want high tax rate for forward charge will be discouraged GTA to charge the pay GST. High tax rate है, but he has an advantage that he can claim input tax credit. So that's why here they are charging higher rate, because he can claim input tax credit. If it is lower rate of 5% to me, then he cannot claim the credit. So that's why higher rate than input tax credit he can claim. If GTA is not registered, then recipient has to pay GST under RCM. Correct, Sindhu. Is registration process same for every state? Yes, registration process is same for every state. So you understood. Consignor is company, consignee is partnership firm. Person who is liable to pay is the company. So the person liable to pay GST will be the company. Second scenario, consignor is partnership firm. Consignee is a registered dealer. Now, who is the person liable to pay freight? Is Mr. A, who is the recipient consignee. Now, who will be the person liable to pay GST in this case? Mr. A, because he is the person who is paying the freight. Okay. Third example, partnership firm is a consignor and consignee is a registered dealer. Okay. Now this partnership firm, whether it is registered or it could be registered or unregistered. Now person liable to pay freight is partnership firm. Then who is the person liable to pay GST? Now we have to see whether this person is a recipient. Now, whether this recipient is falling under one of those 7 categories. If he is falling under one of those 7 categories, then he will be liable to pay GST. मैं आपको ऐसे बच्चों का खेल नहीं खिला रहा हूँ कि हाँ ये पार्टनरशिप फर्म है तो F इक्वल टू G, तो ये कॉलम है और ये कॉलम में सेम रहेगा, नहीं रहेगा. Because if this is the person and he is falling under those 7 categories, then he will fall under this. ठीक है? Are you understanding? Are you with me? Good. So in this case, it is partnership firm. Fine. Then again, service is provided by a GTA to a consignor is cooperative society and consignee is a registered dealer, Mr. A, and person liable to pay freight is Mr. A. Then who is the person liable to pay GST? Mr. A is registered under GST. He's a registered dealer. Registered dealer is under category. So he has to pay under reverse charge. Repeat point number 3. Consignor is partnership firm. Receiver is Mr. A, who is registered dealer. Who is the person liable to pay freight? Amongst us, we have decided partnership firm. Now, partnership firm is one of those 7 categories. So, partnership firm will pay GST. Great. 5th one, cooperative society providing services to a registered dealer, and cooperative society says that I will pay the freight. So, person liable to pay GST will be the cooperative society. 6th point, company A is registered or unregistered, doesn't matter. I've just mentioned, assume anything, it's company A to company B. Now, company B is one who is paying GST under paying the GTA. And who is the person liable to pay GST in this case? Company B. Are you sure? लॉक किया जाए कंपनी बी. सही जवाब. अगला क्वेश्चन. Consignor is unregistered dealer A. Consignee is registered dealer Y. Person liable to pay freight is unregistered dealer A. So then who is the person liable to pay GST? सेवेंथ का करेक्ट आंसर सिर्फ 2 लोगों ने दिया है. द करेक्ट आंसर गिवन इज बाय पिटलाडवाला एंड सुजल नेगी. Uday Chintapalli saying the person liable to pay GST is GTA. Naya twist. Everybody is saying dealer Y. Why? Why is dealer Y? Murtaza Ali is also given a correct answer. Because he is unregistered and because Y is registered. Okay. Because A is unregistered, so Y has to pay it. The correct answer is it is exempt supply. It is the double star gone. The correct answer is it is a exempt supply. Why is it an exempt supply? We said that who is the receiver? Receiver is the person who pays to the GTA. Who is the person paying to the GTA? Is Mr. A. Now, Mr. A is unregistered dealer. He is unregistered dealer. Is unregistered dealer there under 7 categories? No, it is not there. If it is not there under these 7 categories, then we said that it is exempt supply. So this is an exempt supply. Just because the consignee is a registered dealer, you cannot tell him to pay reverse charge. He did not pay to the consignment agents. He did not pay for the consignment. Is the registered dealer A who's paid for the consignment? Then you cannot shift the buck to the receiver of the goods. Because I have paid to the GTA, his relationship is over. That's all. It cannot move to the other person. Okay. If dealer Y is receiving the goods, he's receiving the goods. He's not the recipient for the purpose of GTA. For the purpose of GTA, the notification, and I've explained you that the person who pays to the GTA is the recipient, not the receiver of goods. Receiver of goods and receiver of services is different. Receiver of goods is the person who's actually receiving the goods. Recipient of services for a GTA, who is the person who's paying to the GTA. Okay, so don't get confused. In this case, it is unregistered dealer A who's paying. He's the recipient. Now he is not under those 7 categories. So this is an exempt supply. Let's go to the question number 8. Unregistered dealer A and GTA receiver is registered dealer Y. Person liable to pay freight is registered dealer Y. Who is the person liable to pay GST in this case? Great, Fudan Roy. Clear with the 7th question? 1 to 6 तो इतना easy बच्चों की तरह आप दे रहे थे, 7th में आपने झटका दे दिया. चोर का झटका धीरे से लगा. 9th वाले पे कॉन्सेंट्रेट, 8th वाले पे कॉन्सेंट्रेट कीजिए. 8th वाले का आंसर is very clear. It is registered dealer Y because he is registered, तो आपको पे करना पड़ेगा. Great. Everybody is given correct answer. 9th one. Unregistered dealer A, unregistered dealer B. Now, who is the person liable to pay freight? Unregistered dealer B. So, who is the person liable to pay GST? सब लोग होशियार हो गए. मोहम्मद असलम, चिल्ला के बोलिए या 10 बार बोलिए. आंसर तो आपका एक ही लूंगा. आपका आंसर मुझे 10 बार आ रहा है. आपका ऐप चेक कीजिए. मुझे एक ही बार आंसर दीजिए, अब होशियार हो गए, and it is exempt supply. GTA is unregistered. Company C is the consignor. Partnership firm is the recipient. Who is the person liable to pay freight? Company C. So in this case, who is the person liable to pay GST? Ninth one, Harshita, why are you saying unregistered dealer B? मोहम्मद असलम, आपके आंसर्स 10 बार आ रहे हैं मुझे. 10th answer, everybody, I think, is given rightly. It is company C. Correct. 11th question, unregistered dealer A providing consignment as a consignee to registered dealer Y. Person liable to pay freight is registered dealer Y. Who is the person liable to pay GST? Dealer Y? Okay, dealer Y. That's right. 12th and last question, unregistered dealer A to unregistered dealer B. Okay. Who is the person liable to pay freight? Unregistered dealer B. GTA is unregistered in this case. मैंने एक similar question देखा था, unregistered dealer, यहाँ पे सिर्फ GTA लिखा था. इस question में GTA URD मतलब unregistered dealer है. तो क्या होगा? शिवानी कश्यप बी, अनरजिस्टर्ड डीलर बी. अनरजिस्टर्ड को आप जीएसटी पे करने के लिए बोल रहे हो? Exempt. Everybody is saying exempt. Yes, it is an exempt supply. Whether it's unregistered or registered doesn't matter to me. It is under reverse charge. So I will decide from my perspective whether the recipient is under those 7 categories. If GTA is charging 6%, then it is his headache. If he's not charging anything, then I have to pay it. Okay, understood this clearly now? Now let's get back to our slide. Great, Mohammad Aslam. Okay, so GTA service, if payment of GTA is 12% and full ITC is taken, which means the GTA pays GST at 12% and full ITC is taken by him. Then if he's supplying to registered person, GST is payable under forward charge. If he's supplying to unregistered person and if supplying to unregistered person, maybe to notified persons, okay, then it is also payable under forward charge, because if it is 12%, अगर 12% आ गया है तो फिर always under forward charge. If he's providing to any persons other than those 7 category of persons, then it is always exempt. Fine. Then if it is payment of 5% without ITC, which means he's not mentioning anything on his consignment note, and if it's providing to registered person, then reverse charge is applicable, and recipient is one who pays freight, liable to pay GST. And if it is to unregistered person, but they are falling under those 7 categories of notified person, then again under reverse charge applicable, and notified person is liable to pay GST. If it is to any person other than these 7 categories, then it is exempt. Clear on this GTA service? बहुत मजबूती से पकड़ना पड़ेगा आपको, because there is another confusing reverse charge. इसीलिए I've had so many slides and so many examples for this. ठीक है, GTA को हम समझ गए हैं. Next, let us go to another reverse charge, which is motor vehicles. Applicability of forward charge or reverse charge in case of motor vehicles. इसको थोड़ा zoom कर देता हूं. Right. Renting of motor vehicle, including cost of fuel. Okay. Renting of immobile property, renting of motor vehicle, including cost of fuel. जब मैं कार रेंट पे देता हूं, including fuel cost. ओला उबर नहीं, ओला उबर नहीं है, क्योंकि ओला उबर आपको रेंट पे नहीं देते. ओला उबर आपको ड्राइवर के साथ पॉइंट टू पॉइंट सर्विस प्रोवाइड करते हैं, तो ओला उबर यहाँ पे नहीं आएंगे. दूसरे सर्विसेज होते हैं, जैसे बेंगलुरु में जैसे मेरे को कार चाहिए, तो मुझे रेंटल पे कार मिलती है, पर आवर रेंटल, पर डे रेंटल, जो फ्यूल के साथ मुझे रेंट कार प्रोवाइड करते हैं. सो रेंटिंग ऑफ मोटर व्हीकल इंक्लूडिंग कॉस्ट ऑफ फ्यूल. ठीक है, मुझे कंपनी का नाम याद नहीं आ रहा है, उसके एप्स है जो मैं जेड ड्राइव ऐसे कुछ होते हैं, जो मैं कार रेंटल पे ले सकता हूं. वो फ्यूल भी वही प्रोवाइड करते हैं, उनका रेट इंक्लूडिंग फ्यूल रहता है. ठीक है, इफ दिस रेंटिंग ऑफ मोटर व्हीकल इज इंक्लूडिंग कॉस्ट ऑफ फ्यूल इज प्रोवाइडेड बाय अ बॉडी कॉर्पोरेट. ठीक है, अगर वो कार कंपनी जो सर्विस प्रोवाइड करती है, इट्स अ body corporate, matlab it's a private or a public company, then if they provide service to any person and the supplier is availing full, and if the supplier is availing full ITC, मतलब जो कार कंपनी है वो पूरा ITC ले रहा है, तब वो फॉरवर्ड चार्ज पे चार्ज करेगा 12%. अगर सप्लायर इज अवेलिंग लिमिटेड ITC, मतलब लिमिटेड ITC लेता है, तब भी वो फॉरवर्ड चार्ज पे प्रोवाइड करेगा, क्योंकि सप्लायर जो है बॉडी कॉर्पोरेट है. ठीक है, सप्लायर इफ इट्स अ बॉडी कॉर्पोरेट, देन इट इज ऑलवेज अंडर फॉरवर्ड चार्ज. तो सप्लायर इफ इट इज अंडर, इफ द सप्लायर इज अ बॉडी कॉर्पोरेट, तो पूरा क्या हो जाएगा, फॉरवर्ड चार्ज ही हो जाएगा. क्लियर, दोनों के केस में फॉरवर्ड चार्ज ही है. नाउ हमने यहाँ पे एक ट्विस्ट ला दिया कि सप्लायर अवेलिंग लिमिटेड ITC, मतलब क्या हो गया, इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट जो है, अगर वो ITC ले रहा है, सब कुछ का ITC ले रहा है, तो वो 12% चार्ज करेगा. अगर लिमिटेड ITC, मतलब लिमिटेड ITC का मतलब हुआ ITC ऑफ इनपुट सर्विसेज इन द सेम लाइन ऑफ बिजनेस. उसके पास कार नहीं है, वो किसी और सेम बिजनेस वाले से सर्विस ले रहा है. अब वो जो सर्विस प्रोवाइड करेगा वो GST चार्ज करेगा, उसका क्रेडिट सिर्फ ले सकता है. दैट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ लिमिटेड ITC इन दिस केस. दूसरा सर्विसेज, CA सर्विसेज, रेंटल सर्विसेज, वो सब का क्रेडिट नहीं ले सकता है. अगर लिमिटेड ITC लेना है भैया, तो आप लो, तो फिर आपको 5% पे. लेकिन आप दूसरे CA सर्विसेज, दूसरे जो भी सर्विसेज है उसका क्रेडिट लेना चाहते हो, तो फिर आपका रेट 12% है. सो देयर आर टू रेट्स इन दिस, 12% एंड 5%. जैसे हमने GTA में देखा था, 12% एंड 5%. उसमें 12% का फुल ITC सब कुछ मिल सकता है, 5% पे कुछ भी नहीं ले सकता है. लेकिन इसमें कहा है कि आप 12% फुल ITC लो, 5% पे आपको लिमिटेड ITC है, तो आपको 5% स्टिल मिलेगा. ठीक है, 5% पे आपको जीरो ITC नहीं है, लिमिटेड ITC है, इट्स स्टिल बेटर. ठीक है, लेकिन सर्विस प्रोवाइडर अगर बॉडी कॉर्पोरेट है, तो फिर ऑलवेज अंडर फॉरवर्ड चार्ज. सेकेंड इज इफ द सर्विस प्रोवाइडेड बाय पर्सन अदर देन अ बॉडी कॉर्पोरेट, मतलब नॉन कंपनी है, अगर इज सर्विस प्रोवाइडेड टू पर्सन अदर देन बॉडी कॉर्पोरेट, मतलब ये कंपनी को नहीं प्रोवाइड कर रहा है। जो कार कंपनी है ये पार्टनरशिप फॉर्म है या इंडिविजुअल है और ये मुझे प्रोवाइड कर रहा है जो मैं बॉडी कॉर्पोरेट नहीं हूं, तो भी फॉरवर्ड चार्ज ही है। ठीक है, फर्स्ट इज सप्लायर इज बॉडी कॉर्पोरेट, तो फिर फॉरवर्ड चार्ज। नो, सप्लायर इज नॉट अ बॉडी कॉर्पोरेट बट सप्लाइंग इट टू अनदर नॉन बॉडी कॉर्पोरेट, स्टिल अंडर फॉरवर्ड चार्ज। नाउ third scenario, I am not a body corporate, I am supplier, I am not a body corporate, but I am supplying it to a body corporate from individual HUF or a partnership firm providing to a body corporate, तो फिर RCM लगेगा। Only in this case RCM लगेगा। Service supplied to body corporate, RCM लगेगा। और this is 12% and 5% same। अगर वो बोलता है कि I have taken full ITC, तो फिर I will पे RCM at 5%। अगर वो लिमिटेड आईटीसी ले रहा हूं तो फिर 12%। ठीक है, तो सिर्फ एक केस पे रिवर्स चार्ज है, सॉरी सिर्फ एक केस पे रिवर्स चार्ज है। अगर लिमिटेड आईटीसी है तो फिर 5% रिवर्स चार्ज, अगर वो फुल आईटीसी ले रहा है तो फिर अंडर 12% फॉरवर्ड चार्ज, नो आरसीएम। सिर्फ एक केस पे आरसीएम आएगा, सिर्फ इसी केस पे आरसीएम आएगा, इफ द सप्लाई इज अवेलिंग लिमिटेड आईटीसी। समझे, बॉडी कॉर्पोरेट इज द रिसीवर ऑफ अ रेंटिंग ऑफ मोटर व्हीकल विद कॉस्ट ऑफ फ्यूल, तो फिर रिवर्स चार्ज। इन अदर केसेस तो वो जो बॉडी कॉर्पोरेट है वो ही चार्ज करेगा और द रेंटल कंपनी जो है वो ही जीएसटी चार्ज करेगा। जैसे मैं इंडिविजुअल हूँ, मैं यहाँ से घूमने के लिए केरला गया, केरला में मुझे कार लेनी थी, कार मैंने ले ली विथ फ्यूल। अब ये कार वाला मुझे जो सर्विस देगा, ओके, वो मुझे कलेक्ट करेगा 10,000 रुपीज, 10,000 रुपीज पे वो जीएसटी चार्ज करेगा। लेकिन मैं बोलता हूँ नहीं मैं कंपनी हूँ, मेरे कंपनी के लिए मैं यूज करता हूँ, तो फिर अगर वो बोलता है नहीं मैं 12% चार्ज करता हूँ, तो भैया तू पे कर ले, क्योंकि फिर 12% तो तुम्हें ही पे करना है। लेकिन नहीं नहीं मैं कुछ पे नहीं कर रहा हूँ, मैं तो सिर्फ आईटीसी लिमिटेड आईटीसी ले रहा हूँ और वो इनवॉइस पे लिखेगा, तो फिर मैं रिवर्स चार्ज पे करूंगा एट 5%। क्लियर? Zoom car, correct. Zoom car is one. YOLO को नहीं कर सकते बिकॉज YOLO is only on bikes. This is on renting of motor vehicles including cost of fuel. वो इलेक्ट्रिक बाइक है तो उसको इसके अंदर YOLO will not come under this. We should remember all 7%, sir. Yes, you have to remember all 7%. How will receiver know? Receiver know by seeing the invoice of the supplier. अगर supplier बोलता है कि taking full ITC, then he will charge 12%. तो फिर आपको reverse charge पे करने की जरूरत नहीं है. If he is taking limited ITC, so as a recipient, you will have to ask in the bill whether you are taking full ITC or limited ITC. If renting vehicle is without fuel, then this will not come. Then it will be under forward charge. If this is renting of motor vehicle with fuel, only then this comes. जैसे सिर्फ कार आपको रेंट पे मिलती है विदाउट फ्यूल, तो फिर फॉरवर्ड चार्ज ही रहेगा, रिवर्स चार्ज नहीं आएगा उसके ऊपर। Explain once again. Okay, I'll explain it. Any more doubts? People who have already understood, do they have any doubts? ठीक है, we understood GTA very well. Let us try to understand this also in the same manner, in a very well manner. ठीक है, now renting of motor vehicles. First is if I rent only motor vehicles, that is under forward charge. सिर्फ मैं कार रेंट पे देता हूं, ओके, या बाइक्स पे रेंट, बिकॉज दे हैव नॉट सेट कार, दे सेट मोटर व्हीकल, बाइक विथ फ्यूल भी आते हैं। So if I give any bike or car on rental basis, और fuel भैया तुमको ही डालना है, ठीक है, तो whatever charges I collect from him, मुझे forward charge पे ही करना है, that will not come under reverse charge. But if I give car with fuel, okay, ड्राइवर नहीं दूंगा. अगर ड्राइवर दूंगा ना तो देन दैट बिकम्स अ फुल सर्विसेज. दैट ऑन दैट ई-कॉमर्स वगैरह के आ जाते हैं. दैट्स अ सेपरेट थिंग. इफ आई गिव विद ड्राइवर then that is not under this. I'm giving only renting of motor vehicle with fuel. Then come to me. Renting of motor vehicle with fuel. If I am जो कंपनी इन फ्लीट्स को रखती है, if it's a company, private company or public company, if it's a company, then it is always under forward charge. Clear? Now forward charge हो गया, then we'll decide on the rate. First we'll decide forward charge or reverse charge. If I'm a company holding a fleet and I'm giving all of these vehicles for rental, तो फिर forward charge. Second, I am not a company. I am a private limited, individual या partnership firm. I am a individual HUF or a partnership firm. ठीक है? I am not non-company. And then if I am providing services to any person other than a company, to any other individual firm or HUF, तो then again मुझे GST forward charge पे पे करना है. But if third category, I am a non-company, I'm either individual, HUF or a partnership firm, I am providing to another company. So फिर company will pay if I am saying that I am charging 5%. तो फिर वो बोलेगा भैया आप चार्ज मत करो क्योंकि मैं कंपनी हूं, मैं रिवर्स चार्ज पे करूंगा. बट इफ आई एम टेलिंग नहीं भाई मैं तो 12% चार्ज कर रहा हूं और मैं पूरा क्रेडिट ले रहा हूं, तो भैया फुल चार्ज फॉरवर्ड चार्ज पे करना है. ठीक है, अब फॉरवर्ड चार्ज रिवर्स चार्ज डिसाइड हो गया. फिर अभी आइए, अगर फॉरवर्ड चार्ज पे करना है तो दो कैटेगरी है, 12% या 5%. 12% आपको पूरा आईटीसी मिलेगा तो आप 12% पे करो. नहीं आपको 5% पे करना है तो फिर आपको लिमिटेड आईटीसी मिलेगा. कौन सा लिमिटेड आईटीसी? आईटीसी जो मैं दूसरे कैब सेम बिजनेस से कैब सर्विस लेता हूं और उसके ऊपर वो जीएसटी जो चार्ज करते हैं उसका क्रेडिट में लेना चाहता हूं, तो फिर लिमिटेड आईटीसी के ऊपर आपको 5% पे करना. क्लियर? दैट इज इट. दैट इज इट. Renting of vehicle company, buy new vehicle, can they claim ITC? Yes, they can claim ITC. If they are into that business, they can claim ITC. Good question, Nagaraju. Clear. Now अभी हमारा नोटिफिकेशन के पास ही जाते हैं. नोटिफिकेशन जीटीए का हमने समझ गया, 7 कैटेगरीज. दिस ऑल्सो आई कन्वर्ट इनटू पीडीएफ एंड गिव इट यू, डोंट वरी. देन जो हमने जीटीए पढ़ा था, जीटीए सर्विस अगर ये गवर्नमेंट को प्रोवाइड करते हैं तो आरसीएम नहीं लगेगा. ठीक है, दैट इज वेरी क्लियर. देन रेंटिंग ऑफ मोटर व्हीकल designed to carry passengers where the cost of fuel is included in the consideration charge for the service recipient provided to a body corporate. ये आप पढ़ोगे तो समझ में आएगा, इसलिए मैंने वो स्लाइड करके आपको समझाया है. ठीक है, these are the important categories. इस नोटिफिकेशन में किसी को कुछ डाउट था, प्लीज एक्सप्लेन 5 and 6 of the notification. 5 और 6, 5 और 6. 5 ये रहा, services provided by government to any business entity. This is 5. 5A is also services. 5A is also services provided by government, but renting services. Agar renting services provided to a registered person, then registered person has to pay GST under RCM. But if it is any other government services other than rent, other than post, other than aircraft, and other than transportation of goods or passengers, then the business entity has to pay under reverse charge. That is 5 and 5A. 6, director services. A director employee providing services to a company and getting rent, getting salary is exempted because it is under Schedule 3. Schedule 3 के category में no GST. But director is not a employee. He's a non-executive director providing sitting fees, providing board-related services, independent director providing other services. Then reverse charge will apply and the company will have to pay GST on whatever it pays to the director. समझे? क्लियर? नेक्स्ट चलते हैं. जीटीए हो गया हमारा, मेजर सर्विस. मोटर व्हीकल हो गया. नाउ सर्विस सप्लाइड बाय एनी पर्सन बाय वे ऑफ ट्रांसफर ऑफ डेवलपमेंट राइट्स और फ्लोर स्पेस इंडेक्स for construction of a project by a promoter. Okay, any person providing to a promoter is under reverse charge. Then long-term lease of land. मेरे पास land है, मैं long-term lease पे दे रहा हूँ to a promoter, then promoter has to pay under reverse charge. Then इंश्योरेंस एजेंसी हो गया और रिकवरी एजेंट्स हो गए जो बैंक से लोन पे नहीं करते, वो रिकवरी एजेंट्स अपॉइंट करते हैं. इन लोगों का सर्विस किसको प्रोवाइड करते हैं? इंश्योरेंस एजेंट किसको प्रोवाइड करता है सर्विस? इंश्योरेंस कंपनी को. और रिकवरी एजेंट किसको सर्विस प्रोवाइड करता है? बैंकिंग कंपनी को. तो ये बैंकिंग कंपनी और इंश्योरेंस कंपनी रिवर्स चार्ज पे करेंगे. फाइन. देन म्यूजिक कंपोजर प्रोवाइडिंग सर्विसेज टू अ म्यूजिक कंपनी, तो फिर म्यूजिक कंपनी को रिवर्स चार्ज पे करना है. ठीक है. ऑथर प्रोवाइडिंग सर्विसेज टू पब्लिशर को पे करना है. लेकिन अगर ऑथर चाहे तो ऑथर भी पे कर सकता है. दैट्स द ओनली वन थिंग ओवर हियर. ठीक है. इंडिविजुअल डायरेक्ट एजेंसी टू बैंकिंग कंपनी. सो इंडिविजुअल डायरेक्ट सेलिंग एजेंट्स, थोड़े एजेंट्स होते हैं जो बैंकिंग कंपनी को लोन वगैरह हेल्प करते हैं. तो ये जो DSA है, डायरेक्ट सेलिंग एजेंट्स, अगर ये बॉडी कॉर्पोरेट वगैरह नहीं है और ये प्रोवाइड करते हैं बैंकिंग कंपनी को, तो बैंकिंग कंपनी रिवर्स चार्ज पे करेगा. बिजनेस फैसिलिटेटर प्रोवाइडिंग सर्विसेज टू बैंकिंग कंपनी, जो रूरल ब्रांचेस वगैरह में है वहां पे बिजनेस फैसिलिटेटर्स चाहिए होते हैं, तो बिजनेस फैसिलिटेटर्स प्रोवाइडिंग सर्विसेज टू अ बैंकिंग कंपनी, फिर बैंकिंग कंपनी रिवर्स चार्ज पे करेगा. एजेंट ऑफ बिजनेस करस्पॉन्डेंट प्रोवाइडिंग सर्विस प्रोवाइड बाय एजेंट ऑफ अ बिजनेस करस्पॉन्डेंट टू बिजनेस करस्पॉन्डेंट. ठीक है. सो अ बिजनेस करस्पॉन्डेंट, एजेंट ऑफ अ बिजनेस करस्पॉन्डेंट, I don't know the practical aspects of this, but it's an agent who is the agent of a business correspondent providing to a business correspondent. So, for business correspondent will have to pay GST under RCM. Then lender providing deposits under securities registered in his name or in the name of any other person duly authorized on his behalf with the approved intermediary. इसमें क्या है? Services of lending of securities under securities lending scheme of SEBI. ठीक है. Some scheme is there under SEBI wherein if you are lender, then the lender providing service to a borrower, in that case borrower has to pay. Okay. Then apart from this we said, sir आपने कहा कि import of service पे ऊपर GST लगेगा, यहाँ पे लिस्ट पे है ही नहीं, क्योंकि import पे क्या लगता है? IGST लगता है. तो वो IGST notification है that says that any person who supplied by any service supplied by any person who is located in a non-taxable territory to any person other than a non-taxable online recipient. So any person located in a non-taxable territory providing services to a person located in a taxable territory other than online recipient will be paid by the recipient. क्योंकि online recipient जो है उसके लिए अलग से कैटेगरी है. जो import of services पे IGST में first है, that under IGST they specified that the recipient has to pay. Then they stated that other than this, if there is one special category called online recipient, online information database access and retrieval services. If I am getting something and the online information database access is provided by somebody from there, तो उसको इंडिया में आके रजिस्ट्रेशन करके फॉरवर्ड चार्ज पे करना पड़ेगा. ठीक है. दैट इज व्हाट इज OIDAR. Yeah, any questions on this? तो basically major point मैंने cover किया, बाकी तो theoretical थे, तो इसलिए I went in a fast mode so that you can grasp the important parts and other parts you can just read it. Any doubts here? Okay. Please make an exercise for rental charges also. Motor rental, okay. But there's no much complexity over there, but I'll try to make it. Great. Okay, so other things are, there are a lot of things to learn. In the next class, we'll be a little fast so that we can cover up this topic. Charge is a really lengthier topic, but we'll try to cover this up. Okay. So for director fees, we'll pay TDS. When we have to pay GST, we'll still have to pay TDS because the TDS and GST are different things. Now, director sitting fees is 10,000 rupees. On 10,000 rupees, I have to pay him 10,000 rupees. Out of 10,000, I will deduct TDS at 10%. I will pay him 9,000, 1,000 to the government. So instead of paying 10,000 to him, I am paying 9,000 to him and 1,000 belonging to him, I'm paying to the government. So there's no extra cost to me. Then the GST portion on that, I have to pay under reverse charge. On what? Is it on 9,000 or 10,000? The total value what is providing to me is 10,000. TDS is only a kind of giving the same money to two hands. One is to him, one is to the government on his behalf. Okay. So the value is 10,000. On this 10,000, I will pay GST at 18%. That is not an additional tax. That's the tax that on which I will claim the input tax. And TDS is also not a tax. That is only on his behalf, I'm paying it to the government. Government is not collecting tax from me. It's only instead of me paying to him, I'm paying it to the government. Okay, so I pay TDS of 1,000. Now on this 10,000, I have to pay GST at 1,800, which is 18%. 1,800 I pay to the government. Once I pay, I claim the credit also. Simple. Clear? Before I conclude, I'm getting wishes of Happy Diwali, which is a sign of indication that I should close my topic. Great. We had a good session today. Really enjoyed and wish you a very happy Diwali, happy Dhanteras. We'll not be having a session on Tuesday. We'll be having next session on Thursday. Have a happy learning and enjoy your festival and concentrate and study well. Any questions on this, we will take up in the next class as well. Be prepared and we'll start this. Great. Thank you, Pranav. Today is the best explanation. Yeah, now I realize that more than this, if I give you these exercises, it becomes easy to understand and catch these things. So I will share all of these things today itself. Great. Thank you very much. Happy Diwali once again. Thank you.